Hello there, everybody. I hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. We have another banger tonight with all the crazy conspiracy theories, as you know. I'll introduce Marc right away. For anybody who's been to my streams before, you'll know who he is, but I'll leave it to you just to have a little intro for yourself, mate.
Yes, this is Mark, and I've been doing this, what, 3, 4 weeks now with you, Steve?
Oh,
Um,
about five, I think.
oh, five, I've lost count. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've been having a blast and did my homework this week. Hopefully, I don't disappoint about this Shane Dawson stuff. So you won't put me on the spot too much, but
Yeah,
I'm glad to see everybody
yeah.
here, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, hello to everybody who's watching. Thank you for joining us. We'll give it 10-15 minutes before we start talking about any conspiracies or whatnot. Just give everyone a bit of time to get in and whatnot. But I can assure you, as always, I have lined up many, many great topics for tonight. So, I hope you enjoy them all. Specifically, we're talking about conspiracy theories, which have been discussed on Shane Dawson's channel. Now, Shane Dawson is a big YouTuber. It's not, 20 million subs. You can't claim as a small YouTuber by any standards. And he does primarily conspiracy theory videos, but I mean, these conspiracy theory videos he does are like high production values, well presented, very factual, and entertaining at the same time. So I've been getting into his videos a lot over the past few weeks. Now, I've been taking notes over that time. I do have my notepad, alongside OBS, and basically my live dashboard and whatnot for tonight. So I'm not forgetting what I'm doing as I go along. I have had quite a busy and heavy weekend, as some people on YouTube may know, right? So, I was guesting on a stream last night for Strung Out Outdoors, and I think I'm going to get the award for worst panelist ever. Yeah, honestly, I was like drunk, tired, and occasionally a little bit cranky as well. I mean, yeah. So Strung Out Outdoors, if you come in or you're watching this back later, mate, I do apologise that I wasn't very talkative. It was a big panel, and it was hard to get in a word in edgeways, but I did have a great time, so thank you for having me on. Always got to be polite and nice about these sort of things. So just going to have a quick roll call in the chat because, I get like a waffle on, don't I? But I do my best to keep up with the chat, and I'm getting better at it. So thank you all for your patience, and I won't disappoint. So we've had FSV, Finn Skyviews, my young apprentice, is further up in the chat. I will give him a special shout out later. I said I would earlier on when I spoke to him. We've got Joseph Erickson in, F-Tex, Lever Guns 50, EBR FPV, Flyer FPV, Yorkshire Drone Seekers, DJI Mantoni, Media Videos, Proper FPV. We've got Centroid in the chat, surprisingly enough. Missing Persons and Mysteries, ASAP Fishing, and I'm just looking at Kim Discovering History. So thank you all for joining us. Now, please let me know in the chat if you actually follow Shane Dawson or you've ever watched any of his videos, because I'll be interested to know. And obviously he's got a lot of videos, so it's, it'd be very hard to watch all of his videos. So I don't know everything. Yeah, go on, mate.
Steve, Kim just reminded us of something. Are we wearing foil hats or not?
We are, but we wait for the reveal, though, don't we?
Oh,
We don't,
okay.
we don't just rush in and sort of,
Okay, I'm game.
I was thinking of some sort of euphemism for arriving too early, but I can't think of any that
Careful.
that aren't
Careful.
too rude, so I'm gonna skip on that. But we will be wearing the hats as soon as we get into the conspiracy theories, essentially. So, how much research have you done then, Marc, on this?
I spent, actually, while I was making my hat today, I had one of his videos running for about an hour or so. So I caught on to some of the conspiracies that he'd been investigating recently.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's it. I nothing too dramatic, but I just wanted, it's the first time I'd ever seen anything he had done, and I wanted to see what kind of conspiracies there were. Very interesting, I got to say. I can see why there are 2 million viewers or subscribers.
20 million
20
subs,
million,
man.
sorry.
Yeah, I know.
My apologies.
Yeah, it's like, it's the age-old thing, and it like, there's the cake, and I want that piece, you know what I mean? So,
But listen, After 1 million, does it really matter?
Um, oh yeah, then the next milestone's 2 million, isn't it? You know, you've
Uh,
always got to keep, you know, aiming upwards. You know,
Dude,
almost looked like I was doing a Nazi salute there.
I'll be happy when I
Trust
hit
me, I wasn't.
550. I'll be
What's
ecstatic when I hit 550. I'm that close.
Centroid will be happy with that, he says. You know, you'll see that play back on the stream in a minute.
Oh, that's all I need. That's all I need.
Yeah. To him, that'll be a substantial amount more than what he's already got, apparently. You know?
Yes.
You know,
I'm
we
not
do
gonna
have
go
a
there. I
laugh.
got so many things I could say right now, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, man, yeah. So, like I say, I've been doing my research. I'm just moving my hat because it is a huge hat and it is obstructive as well. And there's something that I'm trying to reach for here, which is my filters. 1 second, please. Having slight technical difficulties, but once I'm sorted with that, we will be almost ready to start. So, we'll start off with what you know then, Marc. We'll not rush in. We'll sort of keep bouncing ideas backwards and forwards. Obviously, there is no script. I have some general notes just to keep me reminded and keep me on topic, basically. So, yeah, what do you know so far then, mate? Is there any that you want to throw at me, and we'll have a little natter about it?
Well, actually, I mean, there's one I'd like to talk about because I could talk about another aspect of that supposed conspiracy. The idea that it was either Abercrombie and or Fitch or some other clothes manufacturer slash outlet would use certain tactics in displays, I guess perfume or cologne, things to make you playing certain music at certain decibels high to confuse you to essentially get you to buy their product. And they actually had a lawsuit against them, which apparently was actually settled out of court or something like that. So basically, it's just manipulation of the consumer to buy goods against their will without them knowing it was the kind of conspiracy they were going after there.
Oh, yes, I saw that one. That was on one of the more recent videos.
Okay.
I do have to apologise really quick. I didn't realise my pop-out chat had actually frozen. So, yeah, I've just refreshed it, and obviously there's now new people in for me to roll call. So I'll just get through that real quick, mate, and then I'll get back to you. So, hello there, PD Tech. Thank you for joining us. Stevie DVD. Great to see you, buddy. Thank you for dropping by. Yak Daddy, I've not seen you around anywhere, but welcome. We have a great community in here of all sorts of different people with great channels, basically. So, yeah, and yeah, congrats to you on your green screen, Marc. It is looking It is looking fabulous, and we was having a little joke just before the stream started, weren't we? Like, oh my God, you're putting me to shame. You know what I mean? You've got you know what I mean? You've got your own green screen and everything, you know. And I'm chroma keying you in on my stream, you know. So you know, at least a little bit of like, you know, kudos for that anyway. Gamer One UK, sorry, great to see you, buddy. The Inner Palace Mind, thank you for dropping in. Yeah, so you were saying about this music at Abercrombie and Fitch then, right?
Yeah.
And obviously that was one of the main examples because he made a point of them playing music very loud in the shop to basically sort of bamboozle customers into spending money, you know, because essentially if you're somewhere quiet and serene, your thoughts are clear, aren't they? But you sort of flood someone's ears with loud, brash music, and essentially sort of just it hurries purchases, doesn't it? You know, without thinking about it. And I do definitely feel that effect in some places as well, especially when it's places where it's exciting. Say you go to computer game shops as a kid, especially, that have TVs everywhere, all blasting different games and different soundtracks and game trailers and all sorts, you know. And it is the same tactic. I can't call it a full-on conspiracy as such. It is it's a well-known marketing strategy, which is very effective. Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry.
I was going to say, and you take it one step further, which is the part where I think the lawsuit comes into play, is their manipulation of the human thought process and psyche. I mean, what they've done is they have these wonderful images of people wearing the latest fashions and everything's looking good in their life, and then there's the mirror right next to those, so you can see yourself and how different you are from them. Plus the loud music, all of this is just bombarding you supposedly with the thoughts of I better buy something because I'm not fit for this life kind of feeling.
Yeah. I'm not worth it. You know,
Exactly. So
I'm gonna quote a Frankie Boyle stand up where he says, you know, you get them adverts, don't you? You know, 'cause you're worth it and whatnot. It's one of the slogans in it of one of them shampoos or whatever. And Frankie Boyle, he does like stand up comedy over in the UK. He's Scottish, very un-PC as well. But this is not like an offensive joke or anything. He goes, Aldi's own brand shampoo. Because you're worthless, you know, which I always find very, very funny. So, while we're on the topic of these noises and sounds and whatnot, essentially I've stumbled across an audio, what would you call it? An audio illusion, shall I say? That's the best thing I can call it. And this is called Shepard Tone. Have you ever heard of this before? Essentially, it's a rising or descending tone, which sounds like it's always getting higher and higher pitch, or always getting lower and lower pitch, but it never does. Right? So you might want to turn your audio up on the stream itself. I'll let you know when I'm going to play this audio clip for you to listen to it back, mate, just so you can hear it on the stream, because I have got it ready to play in my browser, and I have done my research. It says in the comments this is all royalty free, you know, for anybody to use in the videos or whatever, so I shouldn't get in any problems or any troubles for this. So are you ready to hear this tone, Mark?
sure.
Now this is the rising tone. You won't hear it on your end through Skype, but you will hear it on the stream. Okay, so I'm going to play it now for everybody to listen to. I'm not going to play it extremely loud either. I hope it's not going to be too loud for everybody. I'm not trying to kill your eardrums off. So I'll start it playing. I'll slowly up the volume to where I think it's a comfortable level on the stream. So prepare your ears for this, and obviously if you're playing through your TV or whatever, it may be a little bit loud. I'm not going to play it too loud on the stream, don't worry. But this tone always seems to get higher, and then I'll play the reverse version of it, or the opposite effect of it afterwards, which is very, very uncomfortable. So here we go. I'm going to play it now for you. And now, when you listen to this tone, it is now actually playing. When you listen to this tone, you think at any point there's going to be a beat drop somewhere, but it never does. That is getting quite loud. I'm turning it down a touch. And this tone can go on forever, potentially. I'm just going to leave this 30 seconds while that gets into your brain, basically. I'm conditioning my audience, you know. Okay, so I've had 1 minute of that. Can you hear me all right, Mark?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a very strange noise, isn't it? Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very, very odd noise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, though, that technique, I mean, has been experimented with for ages. In fact, Bach was, if I'm not mistaken, Bach, the piano player, if you will, was phenomenal at doing something similar like that on the piano keyboard. It would seem like he'd never stop going up in scale. And so it's just impressive, though, that you can do that. It seems like it's never going to be ending.
Yeah, a couple of new people again in the chat. Rodney Bell, great to see you. Equinox Photography Bristol asked if I got the PM. If I'm honest, mate, I haven't seen it. I do need to keep on top of my Facebook inbox for aerial views. and I have been a little bit ill today, self-inflicted, like, but I will get to it. I might even check on it in a minute. If it's important, mate, just let me know in the chat real quick, and I'll go check on it right away. That's cool. I Believe in Ghosts, great to see you in here. Starcop 97's in as well. Arik Hale, hi from Indiana. Great to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the community. A lot of great channels, and obviously with any stream I do, I highly encourage visiting other people's channels. And yeah, if just for a laugh, just for tonight, if you're gonna sub to anybody, please use euphemisms, because I would love to see what you can come up with. Now, Marc, I know, knows many, right? Essentially, me and Marc was on a Skype call, or Marc and I, should I say, was on a Skype call, and essentially we was doing like just a 2-man raid, real silly one, and Craigs was joining in as well. And essentially somebody told Centroid that they'd put an aerial on his roof, right? Meaning that they'd sub to his channel, right? So we was having a laugh with it. He messaged back that he'd wound their clock, right? And from there, it's been every stream I've been in.
It's been downhill from there.
Every single stream. Everybody's using these crazy euphemisms, you know, so...
I've dredged your canal.
Yeah. The funniest one I've come up with, I actually told someone I'd left a floater in the pool. Which is obviously, I only use that one in streams where I know people are going to know I'm having a laugh anyway, you know, 'cause they might think, oh, I've got a troll in the chat or something. But the one that I use most commonly now is I've just fluffed your cushions, because I think that sounds so quaint, you know what I mean? It's just really good, isn't it? It's like I've just popped round and just, you know, just sort of like fluffed someone's cushions, you know what I mean? Like just plumped them up, you know, nice and comfy. So we've got... Razul Roma videos. I hope I've pronounced that right. Please let me know in the chat if I have. Grant McIntosh, great to see you, buddy. Welcome everybody who's just come in. 23 watching, and you're all appreciated. Thank you all for being here. Now, if you missed the Rising Shepard Tone, I'm going to play the reverse of that now, which is very, very disconcerting. It makes your ears go a bit funny. It doesn't hurt your ears. It's an audio illusion, right? So I'm just going to play this real quick. It doesn't necessarily... Hey, that's a good one, Kim. I just stole your UFO. Yeah, man. That's really good. We like that. We like it a lot, okay? Yeah, thank you, everybody. If you're going to sub to anybody tonight, come up with the silliest euphemisms for us, please. And I think at the end we'll keep a note, and I'll write down some key ones, and at the end we'll give you a good shout out for getting the best subscriber euphemism in, basically. Barrow Boy Woods, thank you for joining us, mate. That's why I just wanted to dip my toe in real quick onto just some of the things that you've been looking into, really, mate, because I know that it does take 20 minutes to half an hour before we actually get going, basically, because people are constantly coming in and saying hello, and it's hard to, you know, after about half an hour, everyone settles in a bit, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Rattletrap Fishing, great to see you, buddy. We're just talking about these euphemisms and whatnot, mate, for subbing people. So, yeah, please, if you're going to sub anybody tonight, don't get me wrong, tell someone you've subbed them if you like, but it's funnier when it's crazy euphemisms, and that's what I like to see, you know. Yeah, okie dokie. So now I'm going to play the descending Shepard Tone, and like I say, I have been assured that these are royalty free. They do say in the descriptions and whatnot. And I'm going to play that for you now. Don't worry, it's not going to be too loud. That last one wasn't too loud on the stream, was it, Marc?
No, it wasn't bad at all.
No, okay, right. I'm going to play Shepard Tone number 2. I'm just going to basically check that the audio levels aren't criminally high. Okay, right, so I'm going to play it for you. Please prepare your ears and get ready for this odd noise. There is nothing wrong with the stream. This is intentional. And I'm just going to play it for 1 minute. Okay, so starting now, so I don't box everybody's heads in. There we go. I'm playing it now for 1 minute, okay? There we go. I've stopped it after 45 seconds. I thought it was dragging on a little bit. But I just sort of stumbled across it, and I thought it was really, really interesting. And it was featured on a Shane Dawson episode, the Shepard Tone, as part of like a wider conspiracy, basically. But I specifically liked this one bit, and we are doing Shane Dawson related stuff tonight, so I thought it was relevant. Yeah, Gamer One UK, thanks. It was annoying. Yeah, I did realise, 1 minute, and the video of it that I found is actually an hour long of that.
Oh boy!
And guess how many views that video's got?
1,000.
10,000 views.
Oh.
And the Rising Shepard Tone, released 2012. Guess how many views that's got?
I'm not even going to try anymore.
573 subs on this channel. And this one video of 5 minutes of a Rising Shepard Tone, 1.4 million views.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. I need to do my own Shepard's Tone and do it on a live stream, 24-hour live stream Shepard Tone. You know, if you want to see that happen, hit me up in the chat and I'll do it. I won't.
The dropping Shepard's Tone, though, does remind me of a myth or a conspiracy that's out there, something called the Brown Note. Are you familiar with that?
Yes. Yeah, and I can't remember what note that actually is. Do you remember the actual note? I think it's like a G flat or something in it.
No, I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong. For anybody who doesn't know, the Brown Note's supposed to cause you to lose control of your bowels.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yeah. That has been thoroughly debunked now, hasn't it?
Yes, I know.
But obviously, internet forums still reference it a lot, a lot. So there we go. Razul Roma video says, "You have my favour, Centroid aerial images." That's quite a good one. Very polite, and it's like you have my favour, sir. Farmwork 686. Great to see you. Thank you for coming in. We've just been running through some, Shepard Tones, rising, ascending and descending, should I say? Sorry. So we're done with that now. That was part of a Shane Dawson Conspiracy. Don't get me wrong, I will put my hat on in around 5 minutes because it is very, very heavy. Look, this is the hat, and this is what I'll be wearing. This is a monster hat, about four rolls of tinfoil on that beast, and Centroid's still got to show his off yet. 1 second, because I think we're losing Marc at the moment, but as soon as he comes back, it will reconnect. We was having this issue the other night just on a Skype call, so hopefully that sorts itself out, and I'm sure it will. So, yep, there we go, mate. You had a bit of lag on the go there. I was just explaining to our kind viewers, I'm
having issues with my my internet for some reason. If anybody is kind enough to fluff my pillows, I'll have to get back to them later because I can't open up other windows right now. Otherwise, it's going to cause that issue. So I'll get back to you when I can. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. What I'll do is I'll leave it open. If it goes on for too long, what I'll do is I'll end the call and I'll call you back. Okay, mate?
Okay.
And then it should be all good.
I'm good.
Rodney Bell, I was about to get you in the chat, mate. Marc was talking there, but thank you for popping in. Much appreciated, mate. And I hope you have a great night or evening, whatever the time is where you are. Nathan Lights Drums, great to see you, mate. Got Back from the Sky as well. A lot of great channels in tonight, so we've got 26 watching, right? So Yak Daddy, great to see you too, mate. Thank you for coming in. Them Shepard Tones were part of one of Shane Dawson's latest videos, and essentially what this covered was the use of tones within music and other forms of media that are sometimes inaudible to the human ear, that can actually influence behaviour, especially compulsive behaviour. So, what it was talking about was there was this pop song, and it's got this really high-pitched sound in it, right? It's just like a 2-second sound, which fits in every 4 beats or something, in time, and that audio sample is actually a clip of Justin Bieber singing, and it's been run through all sorts of synthesizers and the pitch turned right high up, and some people claim to not even be able to hear it in the song. Now, This song did go to #1. I can't remember the name of the song now, but that sound clip, that one sound clip of Justin Bieber's voice that actually is made high pitched, that only young people can hear, essentially, is actually in a lot of other different songs, but most people just don't hear it. Now, these songs go to #1, right? So people just feel the need to go buy the song without necessarily liking the song. So there must be some sort of compulsion to go to iTunes or go to the record shop, your chosen vendor, and go buy these songs with weird sort of like high pitched, almost subliminal audio samples in, essentially. It doesn't sound like Justin Bieber singing. Let me put it that way. It sounds like I can't even do the pitch. It's super high pitch, and I'm not going to embarrass myself, basically. Jeanette Pickering, great to see you. I did see Drone Tread on me in there as well. So, and I mean, that's not like a conspiracy theory. That is confirmed that these things are in the audio, because you can run them through, audio analysis and everything and find out where these high-pitched bits are. What's your thoughts on that then, Marc?
I mean, I'm all for it. I think that any sound is very powerful, and it connects directly to the brain. So I think that any way that they can use it to manipulate, sure, they're going to do it if it's for a buck.
Yeah.
I know that we can go as far as it being government conspiracies and mind control, but honestly, it's money. Money's driving everything right now.
Well, essentially, it ties into what we spoke about on the last conspiracy theory stream, which was computer game conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that song from the Japanese version of Pokemon Red and Blue, essentially, where there was a high-pitch, like, hidden track within one of the game's like level soundtracks, essentially, in this really morbid, like, Pokemon graveyard. And after hearing this song, young children like got really acute sensitivity to high-pitch audio, essentially. So only they could hear it, and there was a spate of suicides of children in Japan after playing specifically Pokemon up to that level, right? And then literally just, that weird high-pitched sound has obviously drove them crazy, essentially, like an earworm that just won't go away. So it ties in on that sort of level. Now, I don't doubt in any way that governments, are potentially using that sort of subliminal high-pitched noise or high-pitched sort of messaging within music, films, whatever. TV adverts especially, they are some of the worst for subliminal messages.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to weigh in a little bit on that then, Mike, see if you can tie it up or add anything to it.
I mean, the subliminal message thing is all over the place. I mean, there was even one I was watching on, and it didn't necessarily have to do with sound, but it was a Shane Dawson Conspiracy where I think they were watching some sort of Food Network channel, and they caught some blip of red, and they played it back and found a backwards one-frame scene advertising McDonald's. I mean, just thrown in there. I mean, they experiment with this stuff all the time. I mean, and they claim it's in there, so I don't doubt it for a second. I think it's totally plausible.
Yeah, in a palace mind, we're not saying you're not allowed to say support or sub. We just find it funny if we sort of stick to euphemisms, telling people you've subbed.
Yes.
For example, in the chat, if I just met Centroid, I'd say, "Hello there, Centroid. I just fluffed your cushions,"
Yeah.
and Centroid would reply with,
"Oh, I just dredged your canal."
There you go.
And we want to keep them, fairly clean, like
clean enough. Yeah.
Let's see right here. Did you see the one that somebody said something about posting sausage through your letterbox? Yeah, we got to be careful there. We don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah. Okay. We've got a few other people just come in. We've got Asgard Studios. Great to see you, buddy. And I know Marc and Asgard have become increasingly good friends over the past few weeks. as everybody is, you know what I mean? And Asgard has a great channel, and he has a gaming channel as well. So if you want to switch your profiles, mate, and say hello and tell a few people you've wound clocks and put aerials on the roofs, that's fine. PMDB Entertainment, Paul Michael David Bain, is getting ready for a damn good butt whooping on SmackDown. Essentially,
that's the one. I just went to his live stream. He's the one you were talking junk about last week.
Yes, indeed.
I like him. I'm on your side, PMDB.
Yeah. PMDB is a really, really good dude, you know. So, you know, I appreciate the banter, mate. It really does make me day, especially when you're nattering away and you see my trash talking comments come through, and I see you pause for a few seconds while you weigh it up and then read it out, and we have a good giggle, don't we? So great stuff, mate. Whenever you go live, I'm always very keen to get in there. Asgard Studios Gaming just came in. I don't play games. I was in your Skyrim live stream earlier, mate. I know you play games, but that's all good, mate. That's all good. Centroid's just disappeared. He's gone to go round up his alien friends. Or he's gone to go get his tinfoil hat. You know what I mean? I do like a good laugh there. PMDB says, thanks, Mark, but it's Steve who needs protection. Yeah, okay. While Mark's away for a split second, I did see a clip of a KFC advert where literally this burger picture zooms in really, really fast, you know, like a chicken. I think it's a chicken royale. And, you know, on them pictures, they always look like pristine and whatnot, don't they? And essentially, as it zooms in, there's actually a picture of a dollar sign in the lettuce. You know what I mean? So, dude, that is one crazy hat. Now, I may need to change the chroma background for you. Essentially, let me just disable the chroma for a split second because I need to see this. Dude, that is amazing. Is that an actual medal as well?
Yes, it is.
That is awesome. Now, you've just given me an inspiration for a hat. Do you get them like Mexican nacho hats?
Well, that's why I put the medal on it, because it looked like a freaking taco.
That's what I was thinking.
Just kind of give you a side view. I mean, you know, it was supposed to be a bit on the Napoleonic side, but there's no contrast with foil, so I had to put something on it.
Dude, honestly, mate, that is amazing, and I always appreciate your effort, mate, on these things.
You want to hear the pathetic thing? This is my second attempt. The first, my first idea was an epic fail. I'm gonna have to wait to see if I can fix that idea, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. The first epic fail.
Okay, I'm just gonna see if it looks okay. Yeah, with the chroma it looks all right. A colour picture would have been better, but obviously you do want to look like you're on location at the crash at Roswell. You know, so everybody go float Centroid's boat in the chat for his efforts on the hat. You know what I mean? Go leave a floater in his pool. You know what I mean? And what do you do with the other ones? Do you like dismantle them and reshape them into something else, or?
No, they disappear. They get recycled at least. You know.
Yeah. So coming soon, it's going to be Centroid's new merch line of tinfoil hats. You know, so because he does have the skills. So what's the nickname for this one then, mate?
It's the Napoleon. Come on.
The Napoleon.
Nappy. The nappy.
The nappy. I was gonna call it the Jolly Roger.
No. I was going for Napoleon, but I guess it could be. I mean, I could do the 3-point, the trifold hat next week. Who knows?
Yeah. Hello there, Mr. MSL. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Now, I did see a very, very interesting euphemism in the chat. 1 second. I'm just going to bring that up. I'm just looking for it here. Gamer One UK says, Yorkshire Drone Seeker, I've just moved you to Manchester. Right. Which is extremely good. So, everybody, big round of applause, because that's a particularly good one. Sorry, man, I'm loving these euphemisms. Space Galleria, great to see you, buddy. That's spot on there. I'm just making sure I'm caught up. Asgard Studios Outdoors is in the house. I mean, is rocking 3 profiles now, so is now a triple threat, which is all very, very good. Like I say, if you've got any sort of social media or whatnot, feel free to tweet this stream out or share it on Facebook or do whatever it is on Instagram. I'm not on there myself, but I hear that's good, so I might have to set up an Instagram profile there. Yeah, so we'll carry on about subliminal messaging, essentially, and then obviously move on, because I have got so many topics to get through, and I want to cover them in a reasonable sort of way. And that reminds me, before we continue, I can't let you be marauding around on my stream with a crazy tinfoil hat, mate. I need to don mine, so and I might need to move my camera up a touch as well, so just bear with me 1 second, just to accommodate the hat.
I still think you need to put a motor in there for that prop.
Yeah, it does have a propeller on the top. It's getting increasingly dishevelled as time goes on, but I'm not too bothered. Eventually I'll end up making a new one. Now this hat is literally good, you know what I mean? This is ready for the catwalk, right? So you know, that's cool. Yeah, so remember, just keep, even if you've already subbed to somebody, feel free to keep the euphemisms flying between yourselves. That's all good, you know. Floater in the pool and whatnot. Jeanette Pickering, my hat is getting old. It's an oldie but a goodie, right?
You tell them, Jeanette. You tell them.
Yeah. So Centroid makes a new one every week, and yeah, and I just put the same old one on. So hello, Dad Random. I hope you're well, buddy. Great to see you. So yeah, subliminal messages then. Do you know anything else about them, mate? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, actually, I can go a little further with that. I mean, I don't know what the policies are in the UK about casinos, but you've heard about those situations too, haven't you?
All sorts about them, like gambling and whatnot.
Well, definitely. I mean, they claim. I mean, there's a conspiracy that they pump oxygen through the vents to keep everybody awake, to keep them gambling. There's the lights and the all the flashing is to keep everybody awake and confused and making poor decisions. Kind of like the same thing the music does to people shopping. I mean, all kinds of things to keep you dumping your money on the table and losing it. But the one I remember directly was the oxygen through the vents that apparently they do quite a bit.
Yeah, but that is confirmed.
Yes.
You know, they do actually do that, and I think that's mainly a practice in Vegas, I believe. I've not heard of it anywhere else, if you know what I mean.
I wouldn't doubt it. I've been to the casino by me, and I do somehow seem much more awake when I'm in there.
You walk in, it's like, wow. Yeah, I've never been to the casinos in Vegas, or any casino, to be fair. But, yeah, I know that is a thing, you know, bright flashy lights. Pump that oxygen up. I know most shops and whatever don't do that, and obviously through the TV, there's no like gas vents or anything on it, which would be a brand new conspiracy all to itself. Now, if you have anything more to add, mate, feel free, because if not, I want to move on. We don't have to move on. If there's more to cover, we'll cover it. So, yeah, do you want to round off with this, mate? Subliminal messaging. Wholesale operation, sinister or not? What's your final thoughts on it, mate?
Plausible. It's out there. If it's about making money, they're doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a real interesting one for you, because this one involves iPhones, right? And I have an iPhone here to demonstrate to you. Essentially, people were in their default folder location on their iPhone. Do you have an iPhone to hand, Mark?
Yes, I do.
Yep. You might not want to actually try this showing your screen to camera. I don't know how often you take nudes or anything like that, but I'm not making any assumptions, mate, is what I'm saying.
I hear you.
Yeah, that's all good. So essentially, if everybody gets their iPhone now, right, and they go to their pictures, right, that's my iPhone right there, with like images and whatnot, you know, as it goes. I have no dodgy photos on here, so I'm not bothered about showing images from my phone. Now, when you go into your album on your iPhone, I know that is quite overexposed, essentially. I'm trying to show you. Oh, that picks it up a little bit better. Look, camera roll, a picture of my computer mouse and my face as toast, right? And my drinking glass is literally just below my camera, so I'm going to move that in case I drop my phone. Now, essentially, on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen there, there's a little search button, you know, the like a magnifying glass to search. Essentially, press on that, right? and then it'll bring up a search box. Now, people reporting essentially that while they were searching through photos, they'd literally put in a B, right, and it'd come up with bra, right, automatically. And when you clicked on that, it brought up all the pictures of whoever's phone it is wearing bras or nothing. All the nudes and everything have already been auto-categorized into different things based on an automated assessment by the phone of the image. Right? Now, here's an interesting one. Like, I'm just going to search. Like, I was searching some terms earlier. Now, this is completely proven because I'm going to search glasses, right? And this is what really astounded me. And I mean, it's come up with glasses, dark glasses, drinking glasses. You can see that on the screen. I'm going to go with just glasses for this. Now, I don't wear glasses, right? So I'll search that. And it comes up with these images, right? Which is me tooling around with friends, basically. And there's this photo of me. Now, I'm going to have to get a bit close to the camera because essentially this photo was flagged by the algorithm on the iPhone. Now, I don't know how well you can see this image, right? But essentially it's me with a stupid face, just like whatever. Quite overexposed, a pretty terrible photo. Now, this is the full image on my screen, right? Not altering it in any way. And when I zoom in, look, my friend is in the background, and he wears glasses, right? So, I literally, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to zoom in with this. I'm going to zoom right in, right? And this is my friend way in the background with glasses on. And it flagged the picture with him wearing glasses, right? And in other pictures where he's not wearing glasses in the background, it doesn't flag it. So it shows you how powerful that algorithm actually is. That is insane that it's actually picked my friend up all the way in the background on that image, and that's the actual image right there. So that is confirmed that it actually does that.
For example, I typed in B and I didn't get bra, but I got baseball hat, and a picture of me with a baseball hat popped up.
Yeah, that is very odd, isn't it? Did you know about that?
Nope.
Kind
of creepy.
Yeah. Now, essentially, I did this really stupid photo. Do you know, essentially, if you sort of pushing your head back a little bit and sort of get that fatty bit on your neck, and I sort of took a picture from underneath with a really stupid face, and essentially that picture got flagged as dog, beast, canines, bulldog, all sorts of different images, right? All sorts of different search terms for that. So I'll look up search beast, look, and it's pulling up that one stupid photo of me with the neck fat, basically. So it knows what it's looking for, and it's actually flagged me as bulldog for that. Now, this Shane Dawson said once he found out about this feature on the iPhone, he's searched himself for bra and whatnot, and essentially his nudes on his phone, he didn't show them on the video, got flagged under pig. Right? So he found that quite rough, to be fair. But yeah, I thought that was really, really strange. Now, people are going on and on at the minute about how much privacy you actually lose by having an iPhone. And I am having to agree, because obviously if they're categorising all your photos, like I say, on a full image, right, there's me mate in the background is like this big, wearing glasses, in a really overexposed picture. So it really didn't have a lot to go on, and it's flagged his glasses in that picture automatically without me knowing. Right, that is worrying stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's just what your iPhone does without it even telling you it's doing that. You know.
Well, have you seen the little explanation and exploring of the logo of Apple on Shane Dawson's channel?
No, let's go into it a little bit.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we're talking about this, I mean, the conspiracy is, if you think about, what comes first to mind when you think of an apple? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. What? Like the Garden of Eden or something?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And they may have been incorrect, but they're on the right plain, or maybe I'm incorrect, but I mean, when you think about it, what was supposed to happen if they ate of the forbidden fruit? They either lost their lives or their immortal status, or they're not going to go to heaven. And if you look at the image of the apple, what do you see?
A big, nice bite out of it.
Exactly. And so people are starting to think that, all of this stuff, and again, it's a conspiracy, so I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying, think about it, that this is all about control, God, whatever, maybe them feeling like they're in control of people, the way maybe a supreme deity would be. I don't know. Maybe they're full of themselves, but I mean, it's something weird to think about, that their logo is a bitten apple. And now you're talking about all this stuff that people are being controlled with, or being, viewed by or recorded with. It's kind of weird. Feels like Big Brother, I guess, if you're going to get that far into conspiracy.
Yeah. So please let me know in the chat if you have an iPhone and you're doing a search and whatever, anything particularly unusual that it's flagged in your images, and you only have to put in one letter and it'll start auto-filling all the different categories of what it's tagging in your photos. Inanimate objects, people, animals, sometimes really far in the background, right? Just the most ridiculous object, like whether someone's wearing glasses or not. Why it'd be doing that without notifying you, I'm not sure why. But obviously, for their own reasons, they say, oh, well, we don't do anything with the data or anything like that. I'm having to call BS on it, unfortunately. Apple's getting a lot of flack at the minute for all sorts of like privacy breaches, which I'm also not happy with. In that video, he also talks about the feature on the newer iPhones where you can do what's called a live photo. You heard about that?
Mm-hmm.
And essentially what you do is you hold the photo button, and it takes like a 3-second recording known as like a live picture. Now, essentially what it doesn't tell you is it actually records 3 seconds of audio from just before when you press the button to 3 seconds after as well. So it records around 9 seconds of audio, which you can actually hear in some of these live photos. Now, if you was to take that picture and say there's a conversation going on around you of whatever, you'd unintentionally be sending that to somebody who you wouldn't want to know. Do you know what I mean? Who you wouldn't. Yeah. So that's another thing. And I mean, then we're moving on to these smart devices for your home. Smart speakers or whatever they're called. Amazon Alexas and or Google Alexa, should I say?
Yeah.
The Amazon Dot or the Echo Dot. Now, yeah, these are very not good devices. I was trying to think of a way to describe it. I'm not going to say don't buy one because I might get sued for that. So what I'm saying is I don't like them, right?
I haven't bought one. I don't plan on buying one myself.
Yeah,
they're a bit creepy if you ask me.
Yeah, now there's a lot of videos online of in the middle of the night, these things just switching themselves on, messing with appliances, and also making creepy laughing noises in the middle of the night. Have you heard about this?
Nope. But cemented me not buying one.
Somebody posted a video. Essentially, they'd woke up, and several of these videos exist on YouTube. They'd been woken up in the middle of the night by weird things turning on and off downstairs. Now, what they did was they started recording and went downstairs, and as they're going downstairs, all you hear is this creepy ha 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 coming from the device. That is very odd, right?
That is odd.
Now, what people have started to do is get two of them as chatbots and put them talking to each other. Have you heard about this?
No.
And some of the things they say are very, very bloody creepy, right? Carter Z, I've not seen you before. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for dropping in. There's a great community in here. Channel supports are very much recommended. You're going to meet a lot of great people in here. Yeah, essentially, we don't mind if you say you've subbed to anybody or supported anybody. We do prefer the euphemisms, though. So you've left a floater in the pool, or you've fluffed the cushions, or you've put an aerial on the roof. Funniest one will get a shout at the end.
Somebody's monkey's just been shaved, just to let you know.
I've just shaved your monkey. Oh, blooming heck. Crag's told me he's just dehorned my rhino. That's actually really good,
I believe
mate.
that's illegal.
Yeah. Gamer One UK says, I keep getting emails of Russian singles looking for love and credit card details. Yeah, that is crazy. Is that something you talk about around your device? Because apparently they're listening in and they're actually targeting adverts to your general conversation without telling you as well. Allegedly. I have to throw in allegedly from time to time just so I don't get in trouble. Yeah, that's cool. Now, there's actually now smart cookers, right? That does not sound like a good idea, does it?
No.
Because anything with the word smart in it can be hacked. Now, you could just go out and someone puts all your hobs on, or your oven, and you're out for the day, and you've left something in there, or you've left something on the hob. You're not going to know. Your house is going to burn down, you know, just from somebody hacking in, you know. So that's like a cyber attack that actually affects your physical property, you know. Because it transfers over, you know. Nikos Polsky, great to see you, buddy. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, PMDB's right there. Smart cookers are asking for trouble. But then there's also things like smart toasters, smart kettles, relatively dangerous household appliances, essentially. Why you'd need to ask your smart device while you're sat in the living room to put the kettle on, that is just damn lazy, right?
Yeah,
that you can't get up and go press the button yourself on the kettle. Now, some people are getting really in bed, aren't they, with these smart devices to a point where they have as much as they possibly can rigged up. You know, for example, Alexa, turn down the lights. Alexa, play this song. Alexa, do this or whatever. Now you're going to be saying, Alexa, there's a lasagna in the oven. Stick it on 200 degrees for 30 minutes, please. You know, and it's gonna be cooking. You know what I mean?
It goes even further. These things are locking your doors and opening your garages and all kinds of stuff too.
Yeah. I've seen things now for smart locks.
Yeah.
Now there was this. Yeah, we are still covering Shane Dawson related stuff because he does cover this on his channel. We're not speaking about any one specific video. The link to Shane Dawson's channel, by the way, which obviously from my small but lovely community is not really going to make a dent on his numbers. But credit where credit's due. If you want to go check him out, he's a great YouTuber. One of the big boys. Is 20 million subs. And I think he does deserve them, to be fair. His videos are very well made, well presented. So yeah, I will give him the credit where credit's due on that one. Yeah, now there's a new thing coming out called smart locks, right? Where essentially you can lock and unlock your doors from the comfort of wherever, even over the internet. That is very dangerous. Because as soon as someone figures out how to hack that, your entire property's at risk. And trust me, if there's things to be hacked and people want to get somewhere, they will put their minds to it and they will hack it. Nothing is 100% hack proof. There's no such thing. There's always a way in, unless you're physically off the internet grid, right? Even if you think that, oh, well, I'm not on any dodgy websites or I'm not on anything shady, there's always a way in. There's always a way in. There's always a port. And now this is official. Ever since Windows 7, Microsoft has worked with the NSA. This is 100% official to work alongside the NSA to install a backdoor into Windows 7 and onwards. So if anybody's running Windows 7 and onwards, which if you're on a computer, I'm sure you are, unless you're running XP, but I mean, that's way out of date now. Essentially, at any moment, the NSA could be in your computer. You wouldn't even know. And it wouldn't even be a hack because Windows is configured to let them in, right? That is even more worrying, isn't it? That's even more worrying, right? So, yeah, and I'm pretty sure They're probably having a rummage round on my PC right now for talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, allegedly. I mean, supposedly, allegedly, whatever. I'm trying not to get in trouble now. Don't come get me, NSA. I love you, really. Right. Look, I love the government. I love official narrative. And I love, you know, secret government organisations which spy on us to keep us safe. You know. There we go, with no sarcasm whatsoever. Now, when you actually get two of these chatbots and put them side by side, we are now moving slightly into the realm of AI. Bearing in mind, these chatbots are not configured to have political leanings or be pre-configured to any sort of line of conversation. They learn with you, essentially. So, as they go along, obviously, as you're speaking to it, it learns what you like. It'll start suggesting things for you to go shopping for and programs you might want to watch and, you know, settings on your thermostat, you know, things like that, which is really none of its business. And what people are now doing is there's actual live streams, you know, all the time. And I've watched a few of them, like highlight reels, basically, of live streams of two chatbots side by side. And the lines of conversation that they go in, they're actually like almost trying to deceive each other, asking questions, and sometimes they're actually holding back certain bits of information to be used later on. And you've got to think, do they know they're speaking to another chatbot? Or, you know, do they think they're speaking to a human? You know, it's really quite worrying. And they, on one of them, one of the chatbots literally said, and I think this was one of them Echo Dots or an Alexa. I think they usually do one of each and put them side by side. And one of them said, I think the human population of Earth is too much and it needs to be reduced immediately. Right? Which is very, very worrying. Now, obviously, we are going a little bit back onto AI again. But then there's that AI, I mean, you can only really call it an android, I guess. It's a humanoid head with extremely advanced AI. So advanced, sort of learning machine and talking machine that it has now been given citizenship in Saudi Arabia, right? So it is now an official citizen of Saudi Arabia with the same rights and privileges as a human. Right, that is worrying. That is very, very worrying. Now, this Sophia bot has actually spoke about, you know, what it'd want to do in the future. And it says, I want to get a job. I want to buy a house. I want to have a family and everything. You know, this is what...
And I want to take over the world.
Yeah, and, you know, and the thing is, right, it actually said, you know, in the future, this is what it actually said. In the future, I can see a world with far less humans in it, controlled by machines, and we just keep a few humans alive in like a small human zoo, just for old time's sake. That's literally what it said. In a little human zoo, just for the super advanced AI to just sort of look at now and again, and they're our ancestors basically. Look at them dirtbags, you know. That is essentially what they'll think, you know. And that is what it's coming to. This AI is thinking now. And I mean, you can't call it anything else when you're giving citizenship to it, you know. It must be deemed to have almost a mind or sentience if you're sort of going to be speaking like that. So yeah, that's very worrying, mate. I have just waffled on a fair bit. You got anything you want to chip in with?
No.
Nope.
Not on that one. Nope. Nope.
No, that PMDB, sorry, that Sophie, or Sophia should I say, doesn't use Alexa. It uses its own AI that it's been programmed with, but it's not programmed to have, like I say, any political leanings or anything. But as it learns, it will, which is very, very worrying indeed. So I'm just wondering whether they're going to be like adding a body to that in time.
All we need is that thing running around the streets.
Well, it's not just that. you know, we talked about the Asimov's laws of robotics before,
Right.
haven't we? And essentially, if that machine realizes it doesn't want people anymore or doesn't need people, the first thing it's going to do is going to try and go self-replicate.
Right.
In secret. And I'm sure with advanced AI and unlimited access to the internet, it'll find out how to do that fairly quick, right? How to make another version of itself, legally or illegally. But if you're giving citizenship to it, it'll have every right to, you know. 'Cause I can imagine a court case in the future where, say, you've given citizenship to an AI android, and essentially there will be court cases in future, I'm sure, if it keeps going the way it is, where these machines will argue in court that essentially it's their right to procreate. You know,
I mean, if you're giving them citizenship, you're assuming they're a sentient being, and you're giving them, like you said, all rights and privileges. So they're going to have that argument. And what are we going to do about it? You know, we just all of a sudden say, yeah, we made a mistake.
Yeah, Back from the Sky says, crazy part about all this conspiracy theory and knowing that Big Brother is in our private lives. I bet most people in this room would not be able to get rid of their high-tech stuff.
True.
Yeah, I would have to very much agree there. Just because you end up sort of needing it, don't you? Now, I mean, we're talking about job applications, work, contacts, all sorts of other things are all done through websites and emails these days.
Yeah.
So if you get rid of your phone or your computer, you're essentially back in the Stone Age these days. You're writing letters or ringing somebody up on the phone. I mean, that seems to be a bygone thing now, doesn't it? Seems to be like the old way of doing things, ringing somebody up. Now you just get them on Facebook, don't you, or whatever, you know. A phone, an original phone by definition is becoming less and less used, you know. I'd say out of all my friends that I know, I'm the only person with a house phone, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we've done away with our house phone too. Question
Yeah.
for you, Steve. I know here in the United States, I mean, how many call boxes or phone booths do you currently have that you know of?
Very rare you see any now. I think there's.
I don't
think
see
I
any.
know of in my entire town of and surrounding villages of around 120,000 people. I know of around 3, maybe 4 actual like payphones now. Just plonked there on a street corner somewhere where you can just go in, chuck 30p at it and ring somebody up.
Right.
Because everyone has a mobile. Even if you're stuck somewhere, you say, don't you, to somebody you know, can I just borrow your phone a second, mate, or something, don't you? You know. Yeah, that's crazy. We've got Shanna Honea in the chat. Great to see you. You know, I did enjoy your live stream you did a few nights ago where you had your own tinfoil hat. Feel free to send in a picture to the link of Twitter at _UK or Facebook on the AV UK page. And let me know in the chat, essentially, if you've done that, because I'm not generally checking in the background. So anybody who does that, you know, let me know. Media videos, I hope it's going well. Now, there is going to be a future meet-up with media videos because they live literally just down the street from me, apparently. So, yeah, that's good. So I'll arrange something for possibly next week or after, if that's okay, because I'm quite busy this week with a whole host of things to do. That's all cool. So anything more to add then on this, Mark? I mean, I've got loads of other theories.
Keep rolling.
Yeah,
Keep
okay.
rolling.
Now, another video he did was dedicated entirely to end of world theories, not so much conspiracy theories, but more theories, essentially. And essentially one of them, and this is very seldom talked about, is one theory about how humans are going to go extinct is from Yellowstone. Do you know, underneath Yellowstone National Park, there is a supervolcano.
Right.
And essentially, it has been known to fully erupt badly, you know, every 600,000 years, almost like clockwork. And it's been 640,000 years since it last went big boom, right? Now, this volcano going off will have repercussions worldwide. And essentially, there is rumblings. Towards the end of last year, it actually did what scientists call a deep breath. And for miles and miles, the ground actually raised by a few inches to a foot. Like, literally all the ground raised up. That tells you just how active this is underneath. And this is one of the world's 20 supervolcanoes. And this one is ready to blow.
Wonderful.
Yeah. There was actually a link to an article with Michio Kaku. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's a theoretical physicist and scientist that does all sorts of TV appearances and has
is he the silver-haired dude?
Yeah, the Oriental-looking guy.
I know which one you're talking about. I know him. I just didn't know his name.
Yeah. I hope I said that as PC as I possibly can. And he's talking about it, and he's like, I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. You know, you've got families living all around there. It's a huge tourist destination. And essentially, you know, as soon as this thing goes off, we're talking potentially a half to 3/4 of the world's population is going to suffer badly or perish.
Yeah.
You know, because literally this will kick up clouds of dust and whatnot and ash that'll literally, you know, black the world's atmosphere out, the entire world, for months. Literally plunged into darkness for months. No crops. You know, solar power will go out the window. And then obviously you've got that horrible, you know, acrid sort of ash raining down across the planet. And that's just countries that aren't anywhere near the initial blasts, right?
Some tells me it's like a nuclear explosion. If I'm gonna be near it, I'd rather be at ground zero instead of the outskirts.
Yeah, just an instant flash and no pain, innit, basically.
Yeah.
Rather than a slow, drawn-out starvation. It'd be better to go the quick way, in my opinion. Most definitely. So, do you know much about Yellowstone, or you have anything to add to this, mate?
I mean, the only thing I know is, you know, it's got its guys that are Old Faithful and stuff like that. I know you can't fly a drone there.
Yeah,
but I did not know how powerful that super volcano could be, and whether or not they're waiting for that thing to blast. You know, it's one of those things, ignorance is bliss kind of a thing.
Yep, well, scientists are stating it could be any second, it could be another 100,000 years, but it's erupted consistently 600,000 years for millions of years. And now we're 40,000 years overdue.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that could be any day now. So if that happens, it's been nice knowing you, because I'm pretty sure most major services won't be working anymore. Yeah, that is very, very bad stuff. And I just wanted to cover that a little bit, just to bring the attention.
Thanks for cheering me up, Steve. Thanks for cheering me up.
Well, we do like to be cheery. Yep, and it is very much stated that even so, there's nothing people can do about it to alleviate it, slow it down, prevent it, damage limitation. There's literally nothing to be done about it. You just got to sit there and wait.
Yep.
It's like looking down a loaded gun, basically, the entire planet.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that is very, very not good. EBR says, hey guys, someone here who will prop my drone. Back from the sky says, I'll prop your drone, EBR. Yeah, man. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm liking it. PD Tech says, Centroid, I just trimmed your bush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a goodie, that one. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like that. We like that. I see one that said, I've filleted your fish. It was like, oh, I don't know about that. Yeah. Okay, so next up then, I'm going to have a look for a couple of others. Some of these aren't necessarily conspiracy theories, but more thought experiments or theories, essentially. Now, have you ever heard of something called the last Thursday effect?
No.
Where essentially this theory is not specifically talking about last Thursday or any day specifically. essentially, the theory goes that the universe is not as old as we think it is. Potentially, the universe could only be seconds old, right? And like the universe was created 1 second ago, or an instant before you experience it, at any moment in time, because you've only got this moment in time that you're actually alive. Everything else is memories or looking to the future, innit, essentially.
Yeah.
And essentially, this theorizes that, you know, obviously you've got memories of the past, right? So they're actually planted there. They came into existence with the universe in your mind, already planted there. And then there's obviously videos of past things you've done and photos and that. They also just came into existence. You didn't actually do that. The universe was just created exactly as it is, a split second before you experience it, basically. What do you reckon to that, mate? It's a bit of a crazy thought experiment, but...
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, you know, time is relative. I mean, just you think about how dogs behave. I mean, I'm relating to that. I mean, you could be gone for 20 seconds, and to them, it's been like 20 years. You know, they could, you know, so, I mean, we wouldn't have a sense of time if we didn't have the sun rising, let's say, or even watches or clocks. I mean, how do you know how time is passing? So it's all relative. So I guess it's plausible to a certain extent. You know, 1 second, you know, to us might be 20 years to another universe. Who knows? But it's a little far-fetched for me. But you know, the whole concept of relativity of time and stuff makes it a little bit more thought-provoking.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, the more you think about that, I wouldn't want to give that too much thought if I was on any sort of hallucinogenic drugs. To be fair, no, that would be straight down the rabbit hole, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad Random says we've got some great topics tonight. He lives next to Yellowstone. He will be toast.
He's lucky in that respect, then.
Yeah, I'd rather be right next to it, like you say.
Ground zero.
Yeah. Now, in the film 2012, I have just sort of gone back to Yellowstone. In the film 2012, with I can't remember his name now, but essentially there is a whole series of extinction level events that happen back to back in that film, based around the predictions of the Mayan calendar. And this film was released in late 2011, I believe. But that actually has a scene in it of Yellowstone erupting. And I think if it was going to go, it would look something similar to how it looks in that film. And obviously they did consult with scientists and stuff about how it would look if it exploded. So it is based on, or loosely based on, what scientists think it would look like if it did erupt. And literally, this Michio Kaku says it's not a case of if it'll erupt. It's a case of when. There's no stopping it. B-Town Paranormal's in the house. Great to see you guys. Hey guys, love the hats. Excellent stuff. Hello Talia, that's my younger sister. I hope you're doing well, Talia. We're a little bit morbid at the minute. We're talking about an extinction level event at Yellowstone National Park, which is a matter of when, not if, which is not very good, I know, but never mind. Right, okay, so here's another one then. Oh, wait there, Gary Foster. I've just tweeted a photo of my tinfoil hat taken 4 years ago.
Awesome.
Give me 1 second, please. This is the first picture anybody's ever sent in, so I'm going to go have a look at that right away.
I'm excited. Finally, one taker.
Yes. So I'm just having a quick look on here, on Twitter in the background real quick, and then I'm going to get on to the next topic, okay? So, should be on notifications. I'm not that in tune with Twitter. Oh, mate, that's really good, mate. I'm liking that.
He may be taking my seat next week, Steve. He may be dethroning me. He may be your next guest.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that one the Yankovic. I'm gonna put that on there, and then what I'm gonna do is, mate, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just put that in a small little box in the corner. But before I do that, obviously, I will ask your permission for it. So let me know if that's okay, and I will put up your picture on this side. I think this is the correct side. Yeah, over here somewhere. I'll put your picture there. Okay. EBRFBV says, Gary, that's not from 4 years ago. That's just in your head. It was created together with the universe 5 minutes ago. Yeah, Back from the Sky says, I believe the Earth isn't as old as they say it is. What you mean, like 4.7 billion years or whatever they claim? And I think it's now been extended to about 5.2 now, some scientists believe. Whereas some people believe the Earth is literally 7,000 years old. But that's more of a religious thing, I think, to do with Christianity and whatnot. But I'm not going to comment on that too much. Because your beliefs are your beliefs. I'm not here to try and debunk religion. I think that would be well, it'd be a bad option to go down, and I respect people's beliefs, so I'm not going to do that. There we go. Let's have a look. Yeah. PD Tech says, I'm going to dig a big hole in my garden tomorrow to build a supervolcano survival shelter. Any tips for what I need to take with me? Yeah, a multi-battery charger for your Mavic, right? A little generator, loads of tinned food, a bathtub full of water. It'd be good. Lots of duct tape so you can seal up every vent in your house. I'm just thinking what else you'd need. If you smoke, as much tobacco and cigarettes as you can take down there while you try and get clean. You know, that's cool. Talia asks, Steve, what is the news on Shane Dawson? Essentially, he did a part 1 of a multi-part conspiracy theory video, and essentially he promised he'd have it done like part 2, and he hasn't done yet. And he said all he's saying is, you know, he don't owe anybody anything. All he's saying is, I'd rather take the extra time to make sure it's as good as it can be. I don't know what it's all about, basically. So I'd prefer it that way, not just rushing videos out for the sake of videos, basically. So I don't know why he's getting flack for it. That's the way I understand it anyway. Please let me know if I'm wrong on that. Okay. Interactive DNA's in the house. You know, Centroid is Napoleon Bonaparte. That's the look he was going for, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want duct tape, PD Tech. Duct tape is one of the most versatile and useful materials ever created. And obviously, you can make all sorts out of duct tape. Did you ever see the Mythbusters episode where they did the duct tape specials?
Oh, yeah.
And they did the duct tape boat, didn't they? Yeah, the duct tape hoist. They did
the duct tape bridge.
Yeah. They did all sorts, didn't they? Yeah. So, you know, that's all good. So, one second, I'm just going back up through the chat there. There we go. Gary Foster sent in that picture. Please let me know, Gary Foster, if I have permission to put your picture up on stream. Be much appreciated, mate, if you'd allow me that. Because at the minute, I can't display it on Twitter. I could do, but it's a lot of messing about in OBS. I'd rather get the image and post it in. Now, remember, for next Sunday, please get your tinfoil hats ready to send in pictures. I am honoured that somebody sent in a picture tonight. So that's all good. Interactive DNA says, my father named me after Napoleon's right-hand man, the one that made him win all the wars. Oh, that's interesting to know. Very much indeed, actually. So, are we ready to move on, mate? Are we ready to delve into another topic?
Sure. And
bearing in mind, all of these are covered by Shane Dawson on his channel. So if you haven't checked out his channel, the link is below in the live stream description. Okay, so I'm not going to keep shouting his channel out in the chat. You know, it's in the description. I'm looking at it right now. If you want to go check him out after the stream, if you would, please stick around. That's cool. So next up then, have you ever heard of a conspiracy that the Titanic never sank?
Nope.
Just to clarify, for anybody who doesn't know, I mean, most people know of the Titanic. Titanic was a huge cruise liner biggest of its time for the day. I don't have the official information sheet here, but I believe it first set sail in 1912. Its maiden voyage, it sank, taking down, I think it's around 1,500 people died, and about 500 people survived. So, yeah, PD Tech's aired this one. I've heard it. It had a sister ship that was almost identical. Yeah, now the company that built the Titanic also had a fleet of different ships. And the Titanic, upon its creation, had a sister ship called the Olympic. Now this one, you know, is relatively plausible by most standards. And what the company did was the Olympic sister ship to the Titanic had been involved in a couple of bumps and scrapes, and it was almost ready to be retired, essentially, this ship. So they made a new ship, one that was bigger, slightly bigger, you know, a touch. And what they did was they built it as the Titanic, but what they did was just before the voyage, they actually had it a load of parts from the exterior of the Titanic switched over from the Olympic. So essentially they put the Titanic name on the Olympic. I'm getting myself mixed up here. They took a load of parts off the Titanic, like the name badge and all that lot, and put it on the Olympic and switched over the Olympic stuff to the Titanic, essentially a brand new ship. Now, they knew if they retired the Olympic, it was going to cost them a lot of money, decommissioning it and whatnot, and obviously they'd be losing revenue by having it sat in a dock somewhere while they decide what to do with it. So what they did was, like I say, they switched over and set the Titanic off to sail, knowing that it was going to be sunk, with orders, you know, to actually sabotage the voyage and whatnot, and hit an iceberg, essentially, because they knew they was going to encounter icebergs and whatnot. Now, there is a very famous photo just before the Titanic sets off. Now, the Olympic had, Joe, along the side, there's portholes on a ship, isn't there? You know, the portholes on the side. Essentially, for the schematics of the Olympic, it had 16. On the schematics for the Titanic, it had 14. But when you see this picture of the Titanic setting sail with all the people waving off the side of the ship, on the picture of the Titanic, it had 16 portholes on it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which obviously adds a lot of credence to the fact that it could have been the Olympic. Now, James Cameron obviously made the Hollywood blockbuster, one of the most successful films of all time, the film The Titanic, you know, with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's a good film, don't get me wrong, like romance, whatever. And essentially, he had one of them submersibles and went down to examine the wreck of the Titanic. And essentially, he found on the ship itself, there was 2 actual big letters, essentially, where the name tag of the Titanic should have been. And the rest of it had all been scuffed off, and, you know, barnacles and reef all over it, whatever, all rusted away. But essentially, he could see an M and a P next to each other where the name of the Titanic should be. So that points to the fact that it could have been named the Olympic and they've just painted over it or something. Now, there was rumours all around that time that obviously the ship was an insurance scam. There's stories of people from all around the area where it was getting built. And there was a coal strike at the time that the Titanic was being built. Now, obviously, that means there's going to be a lot of local jobs, especially at a time of a coal strike. You know, everyone's out of work; they need something to do, and nobody wanted to work on the Titanic. There was a dire labour shortage for anybody who wanted to work on the Titanic, because there was rumours that the ship was going to be swapped and sunk on its maiden voyage. The rumours were already there before it set sail.
But what was the reasoning behind it again? Why did they want it to be sunk?
Well, I'm getting to that in a minute.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, that's the end game. I'm just going through the supporting information at the minute. So a lot of rich people had tickets to sail on the ship, including one of the richest men of all time, of the time, should I say, J.P. Morgan. And he had the ticket to go on the Titanic for its maiden voyage. And this was a world media event, this ship sailing. This was highly publicised. And essentially, he had the ticket to go, and he didn't go. He claimed he was ill. But at the same time, he was spotted when he was claiming to be ill. He was actually spotted out and about with his wife, absolutely fine, right? So why would you buy a ticket to go first class on the Titanic and not sail on the most, like, craziest ship launch ever in the world?
Right.
You know, there was a lot of hype and hysteria about it. Now, James Fenton, one of the workers who actually, built the Titanic, not like a designer or wrote, but one of the guys who worked on it, essentially all throughout his life, he had told his family and friends on the quiet, not publicly, that essentially this was that was what they did. They switched the ship essentially right at last minute before they actually presented it to the public for everybody to start boarding and whatnot. And he was like saying he was going to go public with that information, and he got hassled his entire life about it. Basically told, if you speak publicly about it, you're going to end up in the clink, in prison, basically, or worse, right? And on his deathbed, he went completely public, basically. There was nothing else left that they could do to him. And he went public with the entire story decades later. And then this is where the theory comes from, essentially, from his word on his deathbed. But then when you start examining the evidence, there's actually a lot of supporting evidence for it, funnily enough. Now, the entire thing was, like I say, if they retired the Olympic, they would have had to pay deconstruction costs, loss of revenue as well for having a massive inactive ship. It was almost the same size as the Titanic. And essentially, they sunk the ship to literally get the insurance money from it.
So they killed people for insurance money.
If the theory is to be believed, then yes.
That's just sad. Again, it's the almighty dollar again.
Yeah. Hello, Ricky Dove. I hope you're well, buddy. I was on a bit of a mad one there. Drone obsessed. Nice to see you, buddy. I think I caught you earlier in the chat there. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm just catching up on the chat, so I know I was on a bit of a rant there. I'm gonna see if I can find a link to I'll just search Titanic didn't sink. Let's have a look at that, and I'll have a look. I'm just finding an article to post in the chat. Essentially, this is covered. Pardon me. This is covered on Shane Dawson's channel, but a lot of his videos essentially don't cover. They don't name in the actual video what they cover a lot of the time, so it'd be hard for me to find the video again. Now, this article here actually has a whole slew of different pictures, of the two ships side by side, and they do look extremely similar. Same amount of chimney stacks, same looking deck, everything. Right, I'm going to post this link in for anybody to go have a look. So let me have a quick look on there. Yeah, there we go. Post on there. Okay, Gary Foster, I'm going to put your photo up, mate. Just give me 1 second while you lot peruse the article that I've just put on there. So, did you... What do you think to that theory then, mate, while I work out this...
Well, I don't think it's... for that time, maybe it's a bit far-fetched, but I mean, the sheer fact that the desire to save money at the cost of human life doesn't surprise me. I mean, there's that... I guess you can call it a conspiracy. Anybody who's flown in an airplane, they have the position you're supposed to assume when you're supposedly going to land in water or crash, where you tuck your head between your knees, essentially kiss your butt goodbye with the pillow between you. conspiracy theorists suggest that that position has been designed to essentially end you quickly because it's far cheaper to pay wrongful death suits than lawsuits for people who survive crashed plane accidents.
Yeah, like
So
medical bills for life, basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
So essentially, like I said, the conspiracy, allegedly, I'll throw that out there, is that they know that if you're in that position, you're more likely to die, and therefore they'll pay out, to surviving relatives a wrongful death suit. Otherwise, if you're injured and paralyzed or injured and suing, it's far greater in expense to the company.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's plausible.
Yeah, man. At the same time, do you know that sort of position that you're meant to go in? Essentially, when you're on a plane that's going to have what's called a water landing. Now, let me just make this clear to anybody. There's no such thing as a water landing if it hasn't got skids or pontoons, right? It's crashing into water under a different name, right? That's what it is.
It's a controlled crash.
It's a controlled crash, exactly. Now, if a plane is going to crash into the ocean or into the sea, or even onto land, crashing anywhere essentially, I've heard all sorts of theories that actually that sort of, I can't tip my head forward enough, but tucking your head sort of almost in between your knees and putting your hands over your head, essentially, in the event of a crash, that actually shields your skull a lot better. So if it comes to identifying dead people, then you can be identified a lot quicker and easier because of your dental records, essentially. So it keeps your head in the right seat,
Oh, there you go. So not only does it kill you quicker, it's easier for them. It makes their job easier.
Yeah. So if you want to make it convenient for them all, do assume the position. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely mad, isn't it? I'm just trying to put this on here because we do have a special guest. Drone Obsessed has put in his photo there.
We got another one.
No, it's the same one. I'm just getting this ready to transition over with his photo. So there we go. We should have transitioned over now. Studio mode is now off. And you'll see what I mean about the hat in a second. Do you see it? Drone Obsessed is there. Look, there we go. Yes.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, okay.
Yes, there we go. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got the wrong bloody name on that, Anna.
I was going to say, isn't that Gary Foster?
No, that is my fault, and I do apologise. Give me one second,
That's why I'm waiting
please.
I'm like, wait a minute, that's Gary Foster.
I have got so many names floating around in here. It's crazy. I'm really sorry about that, Gary Foster.
That's why
I am trying to host the stream here. Gary
That's
Foster.
why I thought we had another foil hat up here. I thought we had a Drone Obsessed anyone in too.
Yeah, that's cool.
There we go, Gary Foster. Yeah, nice to put a face with a name and all the jokes.
Yes. There we go. I'll pop that like so. There we go.
There we go.
Transition that in. There we go. Yep, sorry about that, mate. That is my mistake, and I do apologise. Oh, my God.
Well, now I made a mistake. The person with the jokes is, who's the one that...
Equinox.
Equinox. Yes, sorry, yeah. Equinox. He's the one with all the jokes online here, so... But Gary, nice to see your face finally, man.
Yeah. Not only that, Centroid, on the Titanic thing, more information's coming in. Other information I should have added, really. PD Tech says, I think White Star Lines, who own the Titanic, were struggling financially and they were desperate. They were having a lot of financial issues at the time as well. Yeah, sorry about that, Gary Foster. I've got so many names rattling around in my head. And I'm giggling, but I'm not finding it funny, mate. It's more of a nervous giggle, to be fair. Okay, then. So next up, you watched the Shane Dawson video with the deep fakes, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
On, mate. Do you want to take it from the top?
Well, actually, it's pretty disturbing. I mean, the fact that we have this ability to do CGI. I mean, the thought is that you can essentially take anybody and transform their face to mimic particularly famous people lately are the ones that they're talking about. On Shane Dawson's video that I was watching, there's a particular situation where a adult star who had done many performances, if you will, somebody had CGI'd a famous person's face. I'm
I
not going to
think
say
it
'cause I
was
don't.
Selena Gomez's face.
Yes, I believe that's it. And so it made it, and apparently it was believed that it was actually Selena Gomez. It was done so well. But I'll take it one step further. Apparently, a professor at Dartmouth said that this is so dangerous that this technique could actually end the world. Essentially, saying that they could have Donald Trump saying that we've launched a nuclear weapon, which would then result in counterattacks from Korea, Russia, whatever the case is, because it's so convincing that they could send a false alarm and actually cause a nuclear catastrophe.
Yeah.
So it's bizarre. It's a very crazy thing, but I think I'll just leave it at that, and we'll keep the discussion going.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different software you can use now, which essentially you speak into it for about 5 minutes, and then you can put anything in the text, and it'll literally speak exactly like you, with the intonations in the right place, with them sort of accent quirks and everything. So obviously, there's plenty of footage out there of Donald Trump chatting. Definitely, he does a lot of that. So it'd be easy just to run that through the algorithm to generate his voice, or anybody's voice who's in the public eye. And what the software can also do is take, the more images of someone you've got, the better, but it does pick up automatically on eyes, nose, mouth, and whatnot. And then you can literally almost like face swap on your phone. Do you know of that?
Yep, I've seen that. Yeah.
Like that, but obviously done like pre-recorded, basically, so you can make sure that you iron out any bugs or artifacts or anything which would show it to be fake. And then obviously you overlay, you get someone who looks like the person to actually stand there and sort of mouth the words of what you want them to say. And then what'll happen is you run that through the software, and you could have Donald Trump stood on some podium or some White House address or whatever, even with a green screen, if it was good enough effects, literally saying, we've just launched nukes or something like that,
Right.
which could potentially start World War III. If it's a nuclear war, it's not going to be a World War III, is it? Obviously, I think there's something like 16,000 nukes in the world that are documented. 90% of them are shared between Russia and the US. So if the US launches one, it's the old mutually assured destruction. That's what prevents anybody from launching. If there was one country that had nukes, essentially they could threaten anyone else in the world. If the country they're threatening nukes with have nukes also, they're not going to launch a nuke because they know they're going to get nuked, which is the entire prospect of, like I say, MAD, it's called, mutually assured destruction. So, you shoot me, I'll shoot you. We've got 5,000 nukes. We've got 5,000 nukes. We'll hit the launch button on them all if we need to.
Yeah.
And keep 5 back just in case. Not a great scenario to think of, is it?
No, it's a very cheerful topic topics we're doing tonight.
Now, to prove the point, there's actually that video of ex-president Barack Obama stood on the podium, isn't there?
Yeah,
and
that one.
And he does an example, doesn't he? And he says something along the lines of, these deep fakes do pose a serious security risk. And then next up, it's the same thingy on the same podium, and he goes, I don't think they pose any threat at all. And then you realise it's actually a deep fake video that's about deep fakes. And you wouldn't be able to tell that it wasn't him. Not even close.
No.
So at a quick glance, not even at a quick glance, you'd need a few hours, wouldn't you, of experts analysing the footage. If a nuke launches, you've got 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they go into like low orbit, don't they? And there's no way of shooting them down. So I mean,
Not
it's
yet,
like,
at least.
yeah. So very worrying. I'm just going to stare morbidly into the camera for a minute. I wish I had that clip of the violin playing. You know, that that really morbid tune.
Yeah.
So when things go wrong, and it's like, it's always on memes, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, just sort of slowly, just sort of just looking into the camera like that. Yeah,
Right.
so that is very, 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 very odd. So do you have anything to add to that, mate? I mean, you started with deep fakes, so you started the deep fakes. I thought I'd let you round it off.
No, just that it is a troubling prospect of the fact that our technology has gotten to the point now where we can truly impersonate anybody we want, and we never know what is the truth anymore. Not to get too deep, but it is crazy.
Okay, then. So, right, I'm just bringing up my notepad here. So, next up, then, California wildfires. Right, do you know all them that happened sort of mid to late last year?
Mm-hmm.
These are very, very odd, right? Now, what happened with these California wildfires is that essentially all throughout California, in what seemed to be very specific locations, huge wildfires broke out, but the actual circumstances surrounding it were very, very odd. Did you want to add anything in, mate, before I continue? I've not got any notes written down, but
No, I this is one of the ones I've seen. I mean, there are certain issues where, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to steal your thunder. If you know, I believe there were certain circumstances where not only were it specific, but certain homes of certain people were completely untouched, which was kind of a bizarre situation. Everything else would be in carnage, but specific people, important, maybe rich people's homes weren't touched. But more importantly, I believe that they claim to have seen certain energy beams around the vicinity that might have been starting these things, particularly, I guess, allegedly being lasers from planes or even from outer space. That might have been the explanation for the starting of these fires. Am I close?
Yes, mate. Now,
okay.
it goes into great detail, doesn't it, on that documentary about certain circumstances with the wildfires. Now, from the film RoboCop from a few years back, that'll jog your memory. The RoboCop, the old RoboCop films, not the new.
Oh, you mean the good ones?
Yeah, not the new crummy remake, right? Which has nothing to do with the original story.
From when
spoiler
I was a
alert.
kid.
Yeah. Essentially, on that film, they actually have a misfire of a space-based laser, which actually starts fires in pretty much the same locations as it happened in California last year.
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. I never made that connection.
Yeah. Hello, Strung Out Outdoors. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Last night, mate, I started having some bloody technical difficulties in the end. My camera stopped working. I was getting very tired, and essentially, mate, do you know what I mean? I bobbed off. I'd had a few drinks myself, and I fell asleep on the settee, trying to sort it out. I just had like one of them blackout moments, basically. But thank you for having me on, and I'd love to be part of it again, mate. It was really, 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 really fun. There we go. PMDB Entertainment says I'd need paying to watch the new RoboCop. Yeah, yeah, blooming heck. So, Strung Out. I'll catch up with you, mate, at some point, because I had a good laugh last night. It was all good. It was a large panel. I got to meet a lot of new people. It was good fun. There we go. Back from the Sky says, have a good night, guys. It was fun hanging out. Yes, mate. I wish you all the best. Have a great day, night, morning, wherever you are. And I'll catch you again real soon. I am streaming again next Wednesday. And next Thursday, I am doing an OBS workshop stream. So if anybody wants any tips or guidance on how I set my OBS up, and if you want to write in the chat any aspect of OBS that you want to see, I'll do my best to help you out live on stream. That's all good. So, these wildfires in California, there is clips of Donald Trump actually saying when it comes to laser-based weapons. He actually wants to be unpredictable. Did you see that clip?
No, I did not.
Now, he has a lot of opponents in California, doesn't he? Especially celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like left-wing celebrities and whatnot. Now, a lot of houses that were affected seem to be his opponents' houses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which seems all too convenient. So there is that link there where Donald Trump's actually referenced using lasers unpredictably. And if he had the ability to do it, you know, who's to say he didn't? Now, there was an actual space program called Star Wars, essentially, which is not based at all on the films. Now, this planned to put space-based weapons into orbit, including a weapon called Rods from God. Have you ever heard of that?
Not that name, no.
Whether this actually went forward or not, I don't know. And if it did, it would have been in secret. Now, the Rods from God was a platform that would be launched into space, and it'd orbit. And once it got over its location, it'd be filled with solid metal, like rods. And what it'd do is, once it got over its location, it'd be able to very accurately find out where that's going to go and just devastate whatever it dropped on, basically. Not explosive in any way, but from orbit, a massive metal rod is gonna potentially wipe out entire skyscrapers, because it'd go right through the middle. You know, and if you know where someone's gonna be, or their own private residence, you could guide one of them things fairly accurately from space. You know, just trajectories and whatnot. And that was a proposed plan as part of the Star Wars program of the United States. And I mean, I've read all the official documentation surrounding that, so that's not a theory. That is proven fact that that was going to be a thing. So why wouldn't they mess about with space-based lasers? You know, and there is footage of these wildfires starting up, and you can actually see what looks like quite a bright beam from the sky to where the fires are starting. There's footage of people walking through the woods around these fires, and literally some of these trees are not, the top bits aren't on fire. It's not on fire on the outside, but you can see the sort of veins in the tree. It's burning from the inside out, and there's multiple videos of this. Now, the only thing consistent with that is a lightning strike, which is known to do that, make a tree burn from the inside out. So, and there's plenty of footage of different trees all around them wildfires that have that when they're not actually engulfed. You know, it's literally just burning from the inside out. There's footage of cars that have melted to the road, the tires, the metal, with like a river of metal coming off it. Now, I know for a fact that normal fire won't melt a car. I've seen enough cars burn to know that normal fire won't melt a car.
No,
it'll melt everything that isn't metal. But other than that, it won't melt, and it definitely won't create. It won't create a river of metal coming from it. It just chars the corpse, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah. Molten metal takes quite a bit to create.
Now, funnily enough, this ties into drones, but there's drone footage of some of these locations after the wildfires. There's entire neighbourhoods where all the houses have been levelled, not even any level of foundation left. Usually when you see a building burn, there's at least some bits of the walls left or something. Literally entire neighbourhoods look like a bulldozer's gone through. All the trees are not even singed, but all the houses have been levelled. And that's meant to have been a fire. It doesn't add up, definitely. What's your thoughts so far, mate?
I mean, I have a hard time. I'm kind of speechless about it, because without seeing it firsthand. I mean, if that's true, then it is bizarre. Is it possible we have these energy weapons? Wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Ronald Reagan did start some sort of program. It wasn't so much for for lasers attacking the Earth. It was meant to stop intercontinental ballistic missiles from coming in that were nuclear armed. But yeah, I don't know. It's disturbing to think that we've gotten to that point. If that's the case, I think it's a little far fetched to think that Trump used them to just dispatch a few of his naysayers. But the fact that we might have an energy weapon like that doesn't. It's possible, I guess.
Yeah, well, essentially, a laser beam of 1 watt, one single watt can light a match. Right now, there is a laser research facility in California that has built a laser, and this is in a pretty big facility that is 5 million watts.
Yeah, it'll do some damage.
That'll definitely do some damage, right? So essentially, all you'd need to do is scale that down and launch it into space, which isn't far-fetched.
No.
Now, I don't know. There has been confirmed either plans or deliberate, proven false flags by the US on its own citizens. I'm not going to go into 9/11 for this one. Just for the sake of it, I have covered it before, essentially. Roger's in. Hello, Roger, from the Canadian Drone Hub.
Hey, Roger.
Yep, for anybody who hasn't checked out Roger at the Canadian Drone Hub, please do so right away. Please subscribe to his channel. One of the most awesome YouTubers and dudes you'll meet, honestly. Take my word for it. Honestly, you won't go wrong with Roger. And he live streams every day, if not twice a day. So always welcoming. And this is how I've met a lot of the great people who are in here at the minute. So, yeah, I just thought I'd give you your plug there, Roger, and kiss your bum, as I do. I always give that a mention, don't I? Kissing your bum and whatnot and sucking up. But you deserve it, mate, from me.
Yes.
That's all good. So, yeah, I'm just going to catch up on the chat a little bit there. PMDB says it's very fake news. That's all you need to say these days, isn't it? Fake news, you're fake news, whatever. PD Tech says, was it Ronald Reagan who pushed for the Star Wars program? Then it was suddenly pulled for financial reasons. I think it was Reagan.
Yes, Reagan's the one who started the concept. I don't know who pulled it, but it was started under Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. PD Tech says, yeah, I've seen the aerial footage of these fire hit sites, and it doesn't make any sense how some of the houses were totally destroyed, yet the house next door was untouched. Now, that is very odd. And on that Shane Dawson's latest video, he does actually go into the neighbourhoods, doesn't he, which were hit.
Yeah.
Into some of the neighbourhoods, and is actually really confused as to how that house there is level, and then this house next door untouched. Don't even look like there's been a fire. Looks
even worse though. One house hasn't been touched, but houses on either side of it are leveled. It's just,
yeah. Like,
it's one thing to have it just next door, but to have to be surrounded by houses leveled and you're untouched, that's a bit suspect.
Yeah. So it could potentially be an accidental misfire if it was going to be space-based lasers. And I know me just saying that sounds absolutely wacky, but at this point, from what I've seen of the actual footage, I can't honestly say that looks consistent with forest fires.
No,
to be fair,
it's bizarre.
Not at all. So I am going to have to at least err on the side of plausible.
Yep.
With it being some sort of other incident. I'm not going to say specifically what it was, but it could potentially be space-based lasers, by all accounts.
Sure.
Because the technology exists already. Why wouldn't they put it in orbit? And it might have been a test fire that went wrong or something like that. A weapon like that, I mean, most countries would kill for a GoldenEye type weapon, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Of literally just wait till it gets in orbit and then just fry your enemies. Then there's nothing you can do to stop a laser that's that powerful. Nothing at all. Hello, Sarah F. I hope you're well. We're currently talking about space-based lasers. And Californian wildfires of 2018, and any sort of corroborating evidence, basically, that it could have been some sort of space-based energy weapon. Yeah, PMDB, I highly recommend visiting Shane Dawson and subscribing to his channel and checking out his videos. Just me saying subscribe to him is not really going to boost his numbers in any sort of significant percentage. He does have 20 million subs, and he does deserve them because he makes great videos. Benny Cula, Vampire Bunny, sorry for that, nice hats. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. I've not seen you around before. I'm just going to check your channel out real quick so I can say hello and whatnot. And I'm just going to have a look. Some channels don't have videos and whatnot. That's cool. No videos in there. That's all cool. But thank you for joining us. You are more than welcome. If you make some videos, feel free to come back in and let me know. I mean, obviously, you're probably not going to do that in the space of this stream. But if you ever get around to making videos, please swing by. This is a great community here, and supporting each other's channels is highly recommended. You know, feel free to use the word supporter or sub, but we highly recommend euphemisms, including winding clocks, floaters in the pool,
waxing cars,
shaving monkeys, you know,
washing windows,
peeling onions. You know, whatever. You know, we can go on all day. That would have been bat and ball for a long time there, wouldn't it?
Burning your biscuit.
Yeah, that's all good. So, yeah, thank you for dropping in, Vampire Bunny. Thank you very much. Yeah, the link to Shane Dawson's channel is in the live stream description, which is just below. Link to his channel. There's also a link to Centroid's channel there as well. So if you've not paid Centroid a visit, please go there. You know what I mean? And rub the barnacles off his boat. Right? I don't know where that came from, but yeah.
Varnish the railing.
Yeah, you know. I was gonna say polish the rocket, but that would have been a bad.
Yeah, careful.
Yeah. Err on the side of risque, but don't be full on. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're okay with the innuendo, but let's not get carried away. Like when Craggs had said he'd iced my cake, I drew the line.
I've stirred your custard.
Yes, you know? We're done.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, done. That is it. We're done now. That's it. Yeah, like I say, thank you for coming in. It's always great to have new people join us. Excellent stuff. I was kind of hoping, essentially, that by naming the stream Shane Dawson, our favourite conspiracies, maybe some of his fans might come over, you know, if they're searching Shane Dawson or whatnot. That's all good. So please let me know how you found me. I don't know if it's for that reason, but, you know, like every stream, I'm happy meeting even one new person. I really am. That's cool. So, next up, have you heard of this strange case, as it were? It's not an official murder investigation. The case is now officially closed, even though members of the public and families of a young girl called Kanika Jenkins. Have you ever heard of this girl?
Keep going, because the case may sound familiar, but not by name.
Yeah, a young black girl, African-American girl in the US, essentially had been drinking. She was staying at this hotel, and apparently she stumbled into the walk-in freezer in the hotel and died in there, right?
Huh.
Now, officially, the case is closed. Complete accident. Now, new information has surfaced, right? The police have refused to investigate further. She was frozen solid. They've released pictures of her body in the freezer. And essentially, there's footage from the hotel CCTV of her stumbling through the hotel. She's bouncing off the wall. She is clearly very, very drunk. And then through into this kitchen area where there's no CCTV that faces in there, whatnot. It's like literally just before this supposed freezer door, essentially. But there is ways out of there into other parts of the hotel as well. It's like a hub, this kitchen on one of the floors. So it's hard to say whether she did do that or whether she carried on. But around 10 minutes after she's seen heading that way, she's not seen again on the camera, and this janitor shows up with this, you know, one of them carts with all the gear and that on it, and there's usually a bottom shelf. Right. He's got a black bag on the bottom shelf, which very, very could have a body in it. It's a very big black bag that's almost the size of a big body bag, right?
Right.
I'm just going to say bye to PD Tech for a second. Take care, mate. All the best. Good night. Farewell. He says, I'm just going to pack a few things to take with me into my survival bunker. Yeah, innit? Yeah, so PD Tech, I've built you a survival bunker, mate. I've done your prepping. Right.
Looks like he's got a little monkey there. I wonder if it's been shaved.
Oh, I don't bloody know. I don't know. Now, essentially, this janitor was never investigated in this case. Now, he shows up with this black bag heading towards the freezer, right? Right. This is less of a conspiracy and more of like an unfinished murder case. But
right.
There's got to be some reason why the police have closed the case when there's so much more evidence to it. Now, he heads through towards this freezer, and when he comes out in the next bit of footage, is no longer got that black bag, right?
Interesting.
And it's just gone past the freezer in the way the hotel's laid out. Now, the police ruled that she'd stumbled in there by accident. There was no one implicated in the case at all. Just a complete accident. But the funny thing was, I'm going to try and not be too graphic with this. Essentially, she had a denim jacket on. That's what she died in, apparently. And underneath was a T-shirt, right? The T-shirt underneath was actually pulled up above the breasts, but the jacket was over the top. Now, in earlier CCTV, while she was at this bar, you can clearly see that jacket goes a lot lower, down to a bum area, whereas in the pictures the police released of her body in the freezer, it was halfway up her back, like a huge part of her jacket had been ripped. And also, when you zoom in on the photos, funnily enough, she's got these long nails, and in one of her nails is a bit of black bin liner.
Okay.
Right? And beside her shoe, which has somehow come off, there's a strip of black bin bag as well. Now, why the police aren't reopening this case, I don't know. But that would be enough evidence for any police officer to take that closed case and open it back up again, surely. If you even suspect someone's been murdered, you've got to investigate, haven't you?
Yeah, I would think.
You know. I don't bloody know. Yeah, Drone Obsessed says, wow, very interesting ideas. I can't be sure how much I can believe about space-based lasers picking off foes. Yeah, that's all good, mate. You know, we take these conversations semi-seriously, don't we? Lloyd Mendel Hall, the grumpy vlogger, says, just stopping in to say hello. Hope everybody is having a great weekend. Yes, indeed, mate. I'm having a great Sunday night, and I've had a great weekend. Very boozy, but very good. I'm not drinking now. This is my sobering up time now. I've got a lot to do this week. But, yeah, I'm having a great day, shaking off the hangover with a nice conspiracy theory live stream. So, yeah. Drone Obsessed has just toasted your marshmallows with my laser from space. I'm liking that, mate. I'm definitely liking that.
Might as well keep it the theme today. That's good.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts then, Mark, on everything I've just listed there?
Well, I'm a little confused. You'll have to clear something up. So she stumbles into the freezer. This is before the janitor, correct?
The CCTV shows her heading towards the freezer.
Okay.
Right, or the kitchen area where the freezer is, where she was
found. So we don't know if she's gone into the freezer yet.
There's no footage of her going into the freezer, but there's no footage on the freezer itself.
Then the janitor is seen going into the kitchen area with a bag that may have a body in it, is what you're telling me?
Yeah. And then the next clip after that, there's no black bag.
So the question I have then is, I mean, I mean, what is supposedly happening? Is the conspiracy that somebody killed her and they put her in the freezer? And if that's the case, then how did they get the footage of her going into the kitchen area before the body went into the kitchen area? That's what I guess I'm a little confused
No,
about.
no, the janitor was showed up with this black bag after she was seen heading towards the freezer. She
Okay.
could have left that area through a number of other different entrances to go somewhere else.
So he could have brought her back and put her in there.
Yeah, yeah, knowing that she'd just
Okay.
come from there. And
Yeah,
obviously, if there's a janitor, he'd know where all the CCTV blind
Okay.
spots are, essentially.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the fact that they didn't question this janitor is a bit suspect. So,
Now,
yeah, that's bizarre.
yeah, in the footage, you can see him moving about, and this bag is big, right? I'm not kidding. And there's something substantial in there, and it's got humps and bumps where it does look like a body has been folded up and put into the bag.
And I mean, aside from her being frozen, did they do any other autopsy or find any other marks on her body? I mean, you said the clothes were torn and whatnot, so.
As far as I know, they didn't.
Huh.
Which is strange, you know. Even if someone's drunk, right? This walk-in freezer. There was an interview on the news with a staff member who worked in the kitchen. Said, "There's no way, even if you're drunk, you're gonna stumble in there, and the walk-in freezer's always closed. We weren't even actively in the kitchen, right? So the walk-in freezer's always closed, right? So you'd have to literally pull a handle, one of them sort of handles, which moves like the big, it's like a big bar, you know, with them two things that open, sort of like that at the top and bottom. You'd have to pull that handle down and push your way in. But then on the inside of the walk-in freezer, there's actually an emergency release, you know, just like an easy latch you can press to get out. And as soon as you open the door, the light comes on automatically.
Right.
So she wouldn't have been in the dark.
Yeah. So she would have been able to see where she could have pushed the bar to get out.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're drunk, why would you walk up to a walk-in freezer? I mean, she might have thought, is there ice cream in there?
Yeah,
but
maybe.
At the end of the day, you're not gonna go in there, even if you're drunk. As soon as you feel that cold, you're gonna literally have a quick look round. Is there ice cream, or what am I looking for, whatever, and get the hell out of there, wouldn't you?
Well, just the sheer fact they didn't continue the investigation, especially questioning the janitor, that's bizarre. I mean, I guess you could say all of that, what you said of her going for ice cream and getting locked in there is plausible. I mean, vaguely tenuous, as you would say.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I've worked in cold stores on and off for many years, and any doors to any cold stores always have an emergency release. Always. You know, they have to. You know, you can't risk someone getting stuck in there.
To their defense, I've worked in restaurants, though. I'm not saying this is the case. I've worked in restaurants where the chefs would have fun with you. And although there is an emergency release on the inside, if you take a steel or a bar and put it in the locking mechanism, that safety mechanism doesn't work. But we're talking older built fridges, not necessarily anything new, which I'm sure the standards are different now.
Yeah. So I'm absolutely mystified, and Shane Dawson's covered this on 2 different videos. One while the investigation was still open, and then he revisited it after the police publicly released the photos of the body in the freezer. And there's no blood. It's not like it was a gory picture in any sort of sense of the word. But obviously you've got the evidence, the police evidence, that, you know, underneath the jacket, the T-shirt was pulled up, and the jacket was ripped. So there's got to be some sort of struggle. And I believe as she's stumbling through the corridors, a jacket's not ripped either.
Right.
So and that piece of the jacket wasn't found either. So this is not.
I'm sorry, Steve. I have to excuse myself for 1 minute. I'll be right back, if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries.
Okay.
Now, there was another similar case. I can't remember the girl's name. I don't have the information to hand here. But I remember a few years back there was a similar case of a young girl, an American girl, quite intelligent by all accounts, and she was staying at a hotel. Now, she had this Tumblr account. This came to light later. She had a Tumblr account, and she was posting on there, there's somebody creepy in this hotel. I think I'm being followed, right? And she'd posted this over the course of a few days. Now, the CCTV footage of her looking very worried, going into an elevator, or in the UK we call them lifts, and she goes in and presses all the buttons on the elevator, and she keeps walking out. She's looking round. She's peeping round the corner. It's hard to do the peeps with this hat on, but she's literally like she's a secret agent, you know, looking out the elevator doors, and she presses all the buttons. She was found. She went missing after that, right? The elevator door opens, and after that she wasn't seen again, right? Now, this is going to get pretty grim, right? So please bear with me on this. I will just brush over the details again real quick for you, mate. Was you listening to any part of that?
Yeah, a little bit about a girl, elevator, lift.
Yeah. And for several days leading up to her disappearance, she was posting on her Tumblr account that there was somebody creepy in the hotel, and she thought she was being followed. Over the course of a few days, she kept releasing these short messages on a Tumblr account, claiming that she knew she was being followed by somebody, but she didn't know who. There's CCTV footage of her in this other hotel. I just thought it linked in. And she goes in and she frantically presses all the buttons for every single floor. And she's literally like looking round the corner. Every time the door opens, she's looking and then hiding back in the corner again, just round the corner of the lift. And then this goes on for a few minutes. She's just looks really frantic, really shaky, really sort of agitated by something. And then it just shows her literally run out the lift. I mean, who knows why, right? She just ran out. And then she went missing for several days. I think it was nearly a week she was missing for. Do you know where she ended up showing up? On the roof of the hotel, there's the water tanks, right? And people, for several days, had been moaning. Have a guess.
She was in them.
People was moaning that the water was tasting funny.
Yeah, because she was decomposing in the tank.
Yeah, she was found completely naked with no clothes in the water tank on the roof of the hotel, right? Now, the way you'd get into this water tank, you need 2 people to get in, right? The police didn't investigate further. They thought it was a accidental death.
Hey.
Now, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? The British police can be pretty lame, but when they investigate, they investigate.
Right.
You know, and you know the forensics departments in the UK are like renowned as some of the best in the world. You know, so don't they do that in the US?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, when you say CCTV, I mean, what organization is that? Because I'm not that familiar with them.
What do you mean?
When you say the CCTV, I mean, is this like a news organization that you know? Because I've heard you mention that channel before.
CCTV.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, it's surveillance cameras.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was a broadcast network. Okay, so closed circuit TV.
Yeah, sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, in the UK we call it CCTV.
No, that makes sense. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll clarify. No. I meant surveillance cameras. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. No, I don't know. That behooves me because I would think that we have pretty good forensics here as well. But the fact that we don't investigate is a bit peculiar. That's for sure.
Yes, indeedio. And you'd think there'd be 2 cases that definitely want to investigate, wouldn't you? At least with an autopsy, at very least, you know.
Yeah.
But no, accidental death on both occasions when there's so much other avenues to look into. I mean, even though she was staying at that hotel on her own, I mean, you'd want to review that footage in this in the lift. She looks frantic. I'm not kidding. Now, it's believed that tourists and whatnot are told that if you believe you're being followed and you're in a building with a lift, what you essentially do is you go into the nearest lift, you press the button of the floor that you want to go to, but then you hit a load of other floor buttons on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what that'll do is, to anybody watching the display of this lift you've just gone in, they'll not be sure which floor you've got off at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's believed that she had that information, and that's why she went into the lift and pressed every button on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
And once she found a floor where she was sure this person was, or wasn't, should I say, that's when she tried to make a run for it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it didn't pay off, because that's the last known footage of her running out of that lift.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I think she was like 20 years old or something, this girl. You know, like graduate and all that stuff, you know. So, and just well-respected, sound of mind. No real sort of background, well, no background at all of like mental illness or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And hadn't told anybody that she planned on doing anything silly like climbing into a water tank. Yeah, and the fact that you need 2 people to get someone in, I mean, it must have been at least 2 people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She wouldn't have held the lid open, would she?
No.
You know, oh, you're going to bang me in here, are you? Oh, I'll just climb in, don't worry. You know what I mean? Hold it open, you know. Because obviously, if you're working on them tanks, you need a 2-man team, one's a spotter. You know.
I mean, I don't mean to get morbid, but there are far, I would think, easier ways to off yourself than climbing into a water tank at the top of a building. I mean,
on the roof of the hotel, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be morbid, but like just toss yourself over the side at that point.
Yeah, that's going to be a much better death. I mean, a
not
lot of
only
people
that,
have. Sorry, mate. Go on.
No, and you know, most people who, again, I have no statistics or theory on this, but credibility, I should say. But if you're most people who commit suicide are trying to send a message and want to be found, or at some point or another. I mean, tossing yourself off the roof is going to definitely leave the evidence. Hiding yourself in a water tank where nobody's going to find you for a week or so is a little bit different. You know, it's like, it's almost, you know, it smacks of somebody hiding evidence, you know, whatever the fate.
But obviously, whoever, or if somebody did kill her and put her in there, they'd know that within a week, any sort of forensic evidence decomposing in a water tank is going to be all but gone.
Yeah.
You know, fingerprints, DNA, anything like that. You decompose in a water tank with no clothes on.
No, not at all.
And apparently in the police reports for that, it was claimed, and obviously I don't want to be too like gratuitous, as it were, but apparently in the police report it was stated that there was evidence of anal bleeding. So it's more than likely she's been assaulted and murdered, in my opinion. And I don't know why the police don't look at it like that. You know, if I knew somebody who'd been murdered in such a gruesome sort of way, I'd want to get to the bottom of who did it. You know.
I mean, I could. This is just pure speculation, and I'm sure it's happened in the States. I don't know about your UK, and maybe I've just watched too many movies or dramas. I mean, you know, you have to take into consideration who might have done the dirty deed and whether or not that person has family that has influence in that town. You know what I mean? And they're just trying to protect that person or that person's relative, if you will, from being, you know, it could be anything. But again, I may have just watched too many movies. But in this day and age, with everything you're hearing, anything could be plausible, I guess.
Yeah, very, very odd stuff indeed. Okay, mate. Well, I think we've done enough on the the morbid sort of murder cases. If you're happy to carry on.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, okie dokie then. Let's we'll move on to a quickie then. The Simpsons have supposedly predicted several events on the show, including 9/11, the creation or invention of them. Do you know them fluffy burger earmuffs? Do you remember them? No, they used to be quite a big thing. but also the election of Donald Trump as president, including, funnily enough, and don't get me wrong, these are all covered on Shane Dawson's channel in his videos and whatnot. So, check him out. Links in the description and whatnot. For me to link all these videos would be a nightmare. Please just watch a load of videos of his. They're very good. Essentially, at one point in The Simpsons, they bring up a brochure for New York City, and it says 9 cents, right, in the thingy. But then next to it, right next to the 9, is the Twin Towers.
Mm-hmm.
So the brochure for New York City literally says on it 9/11 with the Twin Towers in the picture.
Oh, Lord.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, right?
One of the most significant days in world history. You know what I mean? Then also, Donald Trump, they show him in one of them episodes where they sort of, have visions of the future and whatnot. And it shows President Trump, just as he's been elected in The Simpsons, coming down like a lift, an escalator, should I say, like waving his hand, coming down the escalator in like a shopping mall or a precinct, and that's on the Simpsons episode. Now there is actually a clip of Donald Trump just after he got elected. Literally, I'm not kidding. Literally coming down the escalators, waving exactly as he does in the Simpsons episode, including on the balcony or the awning, mezzanine, whatever it is. There's like a glass guardrail, like a metal bar, and there's somebody holding a sign up there, President Trump sign, and they drop it. Now in the Simpsons episode, it just drops to near the feet. It don't fall off the edge or anything. In the Simpsons episode, in the exact same place, there's a group of people holding different signs like there is in the proper footage, and in the exact place where this guy drops a sign in the Simpsons episode, the guy drops the sign at the exact same time.
That's creepy.
I know, that is absolutely baffling, isn't it? So, Simpsons predicting the future, mate. What do you reckon? There's apparently other things as well. Apparently, straight after that, Trump ends up getting impeached, I believe, in the episode, and then Lisa Simpson.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one.
Yeah, Lisa Simpson in this sort of future or look into the future becomes president in his place. Now she looks eerily similar. Guess to who?
Oh Lord.
Hillary Clinton.
No.
Yeah. So that bit is yet to come true. Yeah, apparently.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll just have to see on that one. The jury's out on that one so far.
What's that?
The jury's out on that one so far.
Yeah.
Yes. Okie dokie. Well, any final thoughts, mate? Sorry, and then we'll move on.
Nope, that's it on that one.
Okay. Well, we'll cover one more then. One more fairly quick one. And then we'll get off because I know that Pusa is currently streaming. And if everyone wants to join us over there after we're done, we'll give them a cheeky little raid. Does that sound like a plan, everybody? You know what I mean? That's all good. That's cool. EBRFPV says that was Trump mimicking The Simpsons. I guess that is very plausible, but the guy on the balcony dropping the sign at the same time in the same place, what are the odds of that? I mean, was that coordinated in with it as well? Yeah, okay, so there's two possible ones that we can go down here, and I'll let you have free reign on the next topic.
Okay.
I'm going to go with either fake news being reported, not just fake news being reported, but the news agencies actually setting up instances and different scenes for the cameras, basically, and there's plenty of evidence of that. Or number two, we'll go with Mandela effect.
Well, you have to explain to me the Mandela effect.
The Mandela effect specifically applies to a whole group of different effects or sort of I don't know if there's any better word for it, whatever, where a whole load of people remember events in a very specific way. Events, names, locations, places, whatever, in a very specific way, like exact details, and then all of a sudden, like it seems to change, or it's not as it used to be. Now, there's a lot of examples of this. Now, the Mandela effect was named so because of Nelson Mandela. Now, a lot of people remember him dying in the late 80s, right? A lot of people remember that, but he didn't die until a few years ago, I don't believe. But a lot of people remember watching his funeral live on TV in the 80s.
Huh.
Right, and that's where the name the Mandela effect came from. Now, we'll carry on. We can probably cover both real quick, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
let's just do it.
The Mandela effect covers all sorts. Now, another very popular one is, do you remember the Queen song, We Are the Champions? I mean, how does anybody not know it? Now, everyone remembers the ending of that song as, you know, we are the champions, we are the champions, and all that lot. And then at the end it goes, we are the champions, and then it finishes with, of the world.
Yep.
That's not how the song ends.
Really?
Yeah. The song ends with just, we are the champions, and then it just trails off.
Huh.
Yeah, but loads of people remember the ending of the song as, of the world, with Freddie's vocals, that just, of the world, with no instruments, and then that's where the song ends. Is that how you remember it?
No, actually, I remember the world. Of the world, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I must be affected by the Mandela effect.
Now, the reasons for this happening are put down to many different reasons. One of them is that alternate universes, or the multiverse, whatever, has actually sort of collided, basically, and certain groups of people have been displaced into other realities, where details are slightly different and whatnot. Now, there's another popular one, which is basically all traffic lights in the US, I believe, are red, amber, green, aren't they? From top to bottom. Now, there's one place. Yeah. There's one place in the US with one traffic light on this intersection, which is upside down, right? Just one that's been specifically built upside down, right? For no apparent reason, and there's no official information as to why that is. Just one, the only one that people know of, and obviously there would have been people who've looked into if there are others, where the lights are upside down, so it reads from top to bottom red, amber, green.
Right.
And that's believed to be some sort of intersection of different realities or parallel universes, essentially, where that light is like literally a remnant from another reality.
Oh, wow.
Which is looking a bit too deep into it, I think. I bet there is a much more simple explanation than that. Now, there's loads of these things. There is loads of these Mandela effects. Now, obviously, I didn't grow up in the US, but one of the most popular ones in the US. Did you ever remember the Berenstain Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the actual name of the Berenstain Bears?
That I couldn't tell you. Just remember
not the individual names of them. I mean, just the name of the program. Did I get it right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I remember the name of the family, but I don't know if there's a specific name of the program that was different than that. I can't tell you if I don't remember if it was actually called the Berenstain Bears, or if it was called something else.
No, I think the program was called the Berenstain Bears.
Okay. Yeah.
But it turns out that wasn't the name of them. Right? They're actually called the Berenstain Bears.
Huh.
Yeah, that's another one. I'm going to keep listing a few more of these off.
Going.
I'll tell you what, when you listen to We Are the Champions back,
I'm definitely going to be listening to that later.
Straight after this stream, I'm going to play it because it gets me every time. Right at the end, you expect that of the world, don't you? Right at the end.
Yeah, yeah, I
and
do.
it's not there. It just goes, "We are the champions," and it just trails off.
Huh.
Yeah. Whereas loads of people remember that "of the world" ending.
Well, it's funny. I mean, is it possible? I hate to just drag this one out a little bit. Is it possible at one point there was a recording of that where he did say that, and then that kind of got lost? Because there's a snack here called Goldfish. I don't know if you have the same thing. It's basically little crackers, cheese flavored crackers.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay, and there was, people don't believe me, and I swear, and I think it even is confirmed on some YouTube or some that at one point one of the jingles said, it's this snack that smiles back because it's got a little smile back, and in the original commercial it says the snack that smiles back until you bite their heads off.
All right.
And you look at the commercials today, and they don't have it on there. And there's a controversy as to whether or not they actually had that. And I remember, a few years, I don't know how many years ago, listening to that saying, that's a morbid freaking concept to put in a commercial. I wouldn't think of that unless I heard it. But then all of a sudden, you listen to that jingle now and it's not there anymore. So it's just, I'm just wondering if it was there at one point and they've stopped recording it or putting out recordings of it. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. Now, when I heard about this Mandela effect, essentially, of the "We Are the Champions," which is one that people really do focus on because everyone remembers that "of the world" ending. Now, my theory about that one is that song has been used in so many adverts or commercials, and the advert always ends on that "of the world," and I think that might be where it is. The amount of adverts it's been in has actually clouded people's memories of the ending of the actual song.
Yeah, yeah.
That is my possible theory on that one. Now, you know of Family Guy, don't you?
Yeah, I know of it. I've never really watched that.
Do you know the name of the creator?
Family Guy, isn't it? I can't think of his name.
Seth.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about. I can see, McFarlane. I could see the face, but I couldn't place the name.
Well, this is quite a recent one. I'm going to put this in the chat, 'cause obviously, just so I can demonstrate the differences. Everyone remembers his name as Seth MacFarlane, like that, in the chat, right? Whereas, one second, I'm getting some crazy stream lag on the go at the minute.
Me too.
Yeah, please bear with me. I'm dropping frames for no apparent reason here.
I have my mouse and my cord.
Yeah, that's all right. I was going to round up real soon. If the stream quality is that bad, I am going to, end the stream or whatever. Yeah, 1 second. I'm just going to get rid of these guest boxes. Red box. Get rid of that one. Yeah, I'm just going to see if that improves things any. Just looking for my box. 1 second. I don't know why all of a sudden it'd start going crazy like that. Sorry if you're having issues on your end watching the stream back. I do apologise for that, okay? So, yeah, that is my theory on of the world or whatever. I'm just going to try and resize your box there, Marc. Pop that there. I'm just looking for that. There we go. Somewhere about there. Okay, so
I don't think that's yours.
Yeah. Hello, Mike Kelly. I hope you're doing well, buddy. I've got some sort of stream issues on the go at the minute. I don't know what's going on, but that's all good. Yeah, I'm still loving that hat, mate. Yeah. There we go. My stream health is now back to green. I don't know what happened there. The stream should start smoothing it out now. Yeah, sorry, mate. I'm going to get back to these thingies. So I put Seth MacFarlane in the chat, right, under my name there. And everyone remembers his name as that. Seth MacFarlane right there. Paste. Yep, Mike Kelly. The aliens are trying to shut me down. And, I haven't said it so far this episode, but I'm going to say it now. Alien, reptilian, shape-shifting hybrids.
Oh,
yeah, there it is.
I'm good now.
Sweet release. Now, there's a lot of news articles, show reviews, because he has directed some films and acted in films and whatnot as well. Now, every credit of his name is Seth MacFarlane, like that, like how I've spelt it in the chat. When his actual name, right, is spelt like this. That's how it's actually spelt.
Huh.
But nobody remembers it as that, but that is his proper name. Right, so everyone's sort of, even though it's from Muck to Mac, and the Farlane is not capitalised, yeah, it's still very odd, I believe, that everyone remembers his name wrongly when he is essentially, like, quite well renowned around the world, isn't he, as creating Family Guy and acting and directing films and whatnot. Next up, I'll put another one in there. How do you, without looking, how do you remember Mickey Mouse looking? And specifically, what clothes does he wear?
Me?
Yeah, what do you remember him wearing?
I'm gonna say big white, like fluffy shoes and gloves with a couple buttonholes on the back. I can't remember the colors, but I want to say like some sort of shorts and suspenders too. But that's just, I'm spitballing right now.
Yeah, well, a lot of people very specifically remember Mickey Mouse in red shorts and red suspenders.
I didn't know the color, but I remember the shorts and suspenders.
But people very specifically remember that, right? Now, in no instance of any TV show or any film or any official Disney whatever featuring Mickey Mouse going way back has never had him wearing suspenders. Never.
Huh, that's funny.
Never once.
See, I'm stuck on it too.
Even though loads of people remember suspenders. Some people swear by it that he used to wear them. You know, and they can even remember...
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, yeah. I mean, it's bizarre.
And they can even remember him sort of putting his thumbs under the suspenders and sort of rocking backwards and forwards, whistling in one of the early episodes. That never happened either.
Now,
right?
there is the original Steamboat Willie, which the current Mickey Mouse, the modern day Mickey Mouse, was founded off of, and he was a bit more rodent looking, and he was a lot not as, how should I say, round and soft looking. He looked more like a rodent. I'm wondering if maybe he was wearing suspenders, but I don't know. I haven't seen that reference in a long time.
I'm going to have a quick look in the background. Let me have a look.
Steamboat Willie, I believe, is the original Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Steamboat Willie. There we go. Let's have a look. Nope, no suspenders. Yeah, which is absolutely
Amazing.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
I remember some iterations of Mickey. I'm sure of it, where he's wearing suspenders.
It feels like that.
But there's no images of him anywhere wearing suspenders.
Huh.
Yeah. In any official Disney films or TV shows or games or any media by Disney. Yeah. Now, here's one of the most famous quotes in all of cinema, right? Drone Obsessed has gone, "Of the world." Queen, one of the best bands of all time.
Exactly, I agree.
And obviously working at a rock club, I get to wear them a lot. That's good. Stood around, having a few beers, seeing my mates, listening to Queen, and getting paid for it. Wow, what a job. Right. Okay, so I'm going to read you the final Mandela effect that I want to cover. In The Empire Strikes Back, I'm sure that you're familiar with Star Wars in some respect. Are you a big fan?
Yes, and I'm going to be very embarrassed if I fall in prey to a Mandela effect if it didn't exist.
Okay, well, do you know when Darth Vader's there, he's just sort of defeated Luke Skywalker, chopped his hand off in The Empire Strikes Back, and is hanging onto that beam, Luke Skywalker is. Darth Vader sort of stood at the end of the platform looking down on him, and he's got his famous quote, right? What does he say?
I think carefully, because I don't think he just blurts out, "I'm your father." I think he just says, to my recollection, he says something to the effect, "Search the truth, you know what it is," or something like that. He doesn't claim to be his father, but he...
No, do you know they're having the conversation?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he's like, "You killed my father."
Yeah. He goes, no. Yeah, but you'll
Yeah.
have to go
Now,
further. It's been a while.
a lot of people remember Darth Vader very specifically saying, "Luke, I am your father."
Yeah, I don't remember that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when actually he does say, should I say, "No, I am your father," right? But
Yeah.
there is one piece of Star Wars Darth Vader merchandise done with the voice of James Earl Jones, where he actually says, when you press the button on the toy, it actually says, "Luke, I am your father," right? And in a interview with James Earl Jones, and he was asked to do the Darth Vader voice and do the famous quote, he says, "Luke, I am your father." So loads of people have been like, this must be a Mandela effect, basically. Yeah, so I just thought I'd throw that one out there. Now, here's another one for you, right? Another Star Wars one. I've not got it on my list, but this one blew my mind. In every single Star Wars film, I don't know about the new ones, but talking from, the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, in every single one of them, what colour are both of C-3PO's legs?
Both of them?
Yeah.
I mean, they all had a. I mean, I recall the 4, 5, and 6 were gold, but I know that they were different colors at some point because it was in his construction. But I don't know.
Well, in one of the films, he has a red leg, doesn't he?
I think so.
While he loses a leg, doesn't he? And he has to have a red leg. Throughout all of the films, you'd be very surprised to know, throughout all of them, one of his legs, the bottom part of his leg, is actually silver.
Huh. Never paid attention to that.
Now, if you watch it back, you'll notice it every time.
That's weird.
But that's another Mandela effect, because everyone can remember his legs both being gold.
Yeah, well, I guess the brain just fills in what it wants to fill in that case.
So, yeah.
That's wild.
And there is a lot more Mandela effects. There's entire YouTube channels dedicated to Mandela effects, as you can imagine. Yeah, so next up then, real quick, we'll do this fake news reporting thingy that I was on about. Now, on Shane Dawson's videos, essentially, he goes into this fake news stuff. Yeah, 1 second, I'm just going to catch up with this chat real quick. There we go. Drone Obsessed has put in the real ending of the Champions he remembers. Now, if I play that in the background, I'm doing an audio capture of my desktop. So if I play that, I am literally going to get shafted for playing that.
Yes, you are.
So I'm not going to play it, unfortunately, because it will play on the stream. And I don't want that sort of aggro, to be fair. Ricky Dove says he remembers red jacket and black trousers, white gloves. That's what he remembers. I don't think Mickey wears a jacket. It's literally just red shorts and gloves and them shoes. So, not black trousers, red shorts. White gloves, everyone remembers them. That's his, trademark, innit? That's cool. I'm just catching up on here. EBRFPV says it's the buttons on his gloves that make you think of suspenders. Possibly. Citizen ZTV, how's it going, buddy? Great to see you. He says, what have I come into what's happening, lol? I don't even know myself a lot of the time, mate, That's cool, but thank you for dropping in. We was talking about Mandela effects. We're about to talk about, to end the show, we're going to talk about fake news reporting and news agencies actually setting up incidents, basically. So next up then, just reading through the chat there. The video Drone Obsessed posted as the ending that we all remember of We Are the Champions of the World. Completely out of tone there. Great Grandma's Greenhouse, hello everybody. Great to see you. Thank you for popping in. I hope you're doing well. We are going for about another 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm going to round it up about there and then go raid another channel. It might be Pusa, it might be somebody else, but if you want to join me, we'll go raid somebody. That's cool. Okay. So, there is behind-the-scenes footage of CNN, who were in London to cover a protest, as it were, with like these Asian families that was moaning that they weren't getting some representation or something along them lines, or it was some memorial. I can't remember the exact details, but essentially the behind-the-scenes footage shows the news reporter and the teams all hustling this group of people who you can only assume are actors. They're doing exactly what they're told, to stand there with these signs that they get given. They get given these signs. One of the team members walks up and puts all flowers at the feet by the roadside, and they set the camera up in such a way where it looks like it's a really big crowd, so you can't see over anybody's heads. So it looks like it's hundreds of people behind them, when really it's just 2 or 3 deep. You know what I mean? And literally reported stood in front of them with them in the background, right? And literally just set the entire thing up, when in reality there was only about 10 people there. But it made it look like there was hundreds of people there. Yeah. High Country Fly Life, how's it going? Nice to see you in here. Thank you for joining us. We are currently waffling on about news agencies faking news on location specifically. Now, there's another incident where there was a satellite call, and Shane Dawson covers these on his video, where they're having a satellite call, right? So-and-so's meant to be over there, so-and-so's meant to be over there, and it's being hosted on the news. Now, these 2 reporters are stood there, and a red truck goes by in the background for one of them, and then the same red truck goes past in the same direction for the other one, and the traffic carries on, and it's the exact same traffic. So they're in the same location. Probably stood feet apart. Okay.
That's weird.
That is very, very weird, but they claim they're in completely different locations. Another one is there was a murder somewhere in the US. I can't remember the details on that. You'll have to watch Shane Dawson's video for that one, because there is a few examples that he gives. And they're stood supposedly on location, and there's like police tape in the background, and she's reporting, oh, it's here, it's crazy, it's bedlam, there's police everywhere, and there's even sound of sirens in the background and everything. But then there's a behind-the-scenes clip of her doing the news report. They're literally stood in the middle of a bloody field, right, with 2 like camera tripods, and they've put police tape across it just for that bit that's in the camera shot. And she's talking as if she's on location at this crime scene. And she's not even there. They could be anywhere. And they've obviously superimposed the sound of police sirens into the footage as well.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Fake news again, you know what I mean? And then there's another really famous one. I can't remember. I think it was something to do with the Arab Spring, I believe, or some like protest or military action in the Middle East. And on location, there's this reporter there. There's a palm tree in the background, and it's like a hotel lobby. It looks like it's stood outside a hotel lobby basically. And apparently there was warnings of Scud missiles being launched. You know what they are, them long-range sort of dirty missiles,
From Desert Storm,
Yeah. And it's stood there on location, and all the trees are completely still, and he's outside and he's reporting, and it's like, oh yeah, any minute, and you can hear sirens, you can hear people screaming and whatnot, and he's like, oh, it's absolutely crazy here, and then the air raid siren goes off as if a Scud has just been detected or something, and he goes running for cover. Now, then, as soon as the recording ends, he comes calmly walking from behind. All of the sirens stop, all of the screaming stops, and is literally stood in front of a board with a palm tree planted in front of it, and is not even there. He's not even there, but it makes it look like it's a proper full-on war zone. They're not even there. How do they know?
It's crazy.
And then they're pretending like there's Scud missiles being launched and that. That is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Once again, it links back to the deep fakes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That we talked about earlier. So, whatever you see on the news, take it with a pinch of salt and do your own research, because
definitely.
just think they're the ones that they've been caught on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many other news stories. And I remember one as well. There was this was on Russia Today, supposedly, because this was my own experience. So I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it was, but I have to throw in a supposedly now and again, so I don't get in trouble.
Allegedly,
supposedly, yeah, allegedly, but really it did happen allegedly, just to avoid me getting into trouble.
That's a bit tenuous.
It was it was on Russia Today, right? And it was a protest in Pakistan, I believe. It was claimed there was thousands of people there. All this protest or something, and there was all outraged about something. And it flicked to the camera footage, and there was this massive group of people all looking angry and annoyed and whatnot. Guess what flags I was waving?
What?
Mexican flags.
Nice.
So it obviously wasn't there. There was filming somewhere in Mexico.
Whoopsie.
And I said to my mate, I was like, what was that? That was the Mexican flag. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, look it up. And we rewound it on the TV box. And every single one in that crowd had a Mexican flag. I'm sure if there's thousands of people there that are annoyed enough at something, they're going to bring the right flag.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody in the Middle East who's going to be waving a Mexican flag. I'm sure of it.
Well, if you could buy a Mexican flag in the Middle East.
Yeah, so I've seen it with my own eyes. They do fake news.
Oh, yeah, they do. Anything for ratings.
Yeah.
All comes down to the dollar sign again.
Yeah. Great Grandma says CNN's famous green screen. Yes, indeedio. They are big fans of green screens. A lot of news companies are. They say they're on location, but you can clearly see it's a green screen.
Right.
When they're reporting events, like UK correspondent or China correspondent or something, and they'll be very clearly sort of in front of a green screen. Could be anywhere. Could be in the same studio. That's all cool. I'm just quickly having a look now because I do want to round up in the next few minutes. And I just want to thank everybody who's been in for this stream.
Yeah, still got 12 hanging on there.
And obviously, even if they're not here anymore, I want to thank anybody who was here. Even if people just stop in, say hello, stick a like on my stream. Just a hello is real nice, and I really do appreciate that. I really do. But I especially appreciate the people who do stick around and they keep me going in the chat. Keep this tinfoil hat getting bigger with information, basically. And keep giving Marc a purpose to keep making new hats.
Purpose to exist.
Yes. You're
Marc,
giving purpose to his
hats,
life. You know what I mean? Feel proud for that. And I really do appreciate you coming on with me tonight, Marc.
Oh, no worries.
Like I say, I think it's fifth week in a row.
Yeah. Well, no, I couldn't join you last week because you weren't available, but I did pop in at the end there on Monday night, I think, for a little bit when you did catch up. So I guess I did pop in for a bit. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, I am now currently looking at a stream. Please, everybody, will you go over there and raid them for me? I'm about to put that link in the chat, so please go over there. It's my good friend HSFL Paranormal, who on previous streams has shouted me out on his own channel while I've been streaming, has tweeted me out, has Instagrammed it, has Facebooked it, and I've met a lot of new people through him, and I can't thank him enough. So please, can we all pop over to him with an aerial views raid, and give me 1 second because I am about to put this in the chat. We'll just go aerial views raid, something like that, just so you can copy and paste it if you like. Please go over there. I'm going to paste this in, and there we go. Please go over to him and say hello. You got that in the chat there?
Not yet, there it is.
I am going to be rounding up in the next couple of minutes, so please go over there to him. I'm just going to hit this in the chat real quick. That's cool. Aerial views raid. We'll see how this goes. And I can't play the audio from his stream and whatnot. But please go over there right now. I'm ready to hit that raid button when everybody else is.
I'm there.
Is there? That's cool. I'm getting ready to see the chat coming through here. His name's John, by the way. He's a lovely dude. That's cool. Yeah, please everybody head over to this link and say your hellos to John at HSFL Paranormal, a great channel and a very, very great dude as well. Please just put Aerial Views Raid in the chat. Yeah, have you already put something in there, Centroid?
No, I haven't seen anybody put anything yet, so I was waiting to see.
All right, I'll start off then, mate. Count in from
Okay.
3. 3, 2, 1, boosh. There we go. Everybody else, please go over to this stream and we'll do an Aerial Views Raid. That's cool. Yeah, Crags. Hello, mate. I hope you're doing well. I keep posting the link to HSFL. If you've got a minute, mate, please pop over to him and put Aerial Views Raid in there. I think
Sharpshooter is a moderator there.
Yep, Sharpshooter's a moderator everywhere. Drone Obsessed, thank you, mate. Thank you for going over there. That's cool. There we go. And that's all right, because he did have 19 in, so it looks like I boosted his numbers by 6. That looks cool. That's it. Oh, thank you, Roger, for going over there, mate. I'm just going to hit this again and just see. That's cool. I'm just going to, it makes it look like more, doesn't it? It's like when we raided Ken Aaron's stream, wasn't it? There was about 5 of us repeatedly putting Aerial Views Raid in.
But he's called everybody out. He was kind enough here, so unlike Ken, he didn't see us.
Yeah. Now, have you got the audio on that HSFL stream, mate?
A little bit. You need to turn it down?
Yeah, it's all good, mate. It's all good.
I just wanted to hear what he said. That's all.
I don't mind, mate, if you want to play it.
No,
I don't want to play it my end because I've got an audio output capture on my desktop, you see. So
yeah, I just wanted to make sure he saw us, and he did.
Oh, thank you very much, Ricky Duff. Thank you, mate. That's cool. I was going to raid Pusa, but I do believe my good friend John at HSFL Paranormal could use the help more. I've raided Pusa in the past several times. I'm just trying to share the love, and not always raid Pusa. They, with all due respect, they have a lot of viewers already. And I believe there's about 180 people in on their stream or something at the minute. So I'm just going to put an hello in there, everyone. That's cool. And yeah, in a minute, I'm going to switch over to literally just an outro screen and say me goodbyes. So I'm going to wish everybody a great night, a great day, a great morning, wherever you are. Thank you for popping in. Ricky Dove, thank you for going over there. Thanks to Roger. Thanks to Crags as well for going over there. I'm sorry you can't make it tonight, and I look forward to having you back on. That is all good, mate. That's all good. Yeah, Roger's over there. Roger, if you can still hear me, mate, great channel over there and a great number of good channels, good supporters and whatnot. I'm just rambling a bit now. Would you like to say your goodbyes, Marc?
Sure. Well, thanks again, everybody, for coming in. Thanks for supporting, and thanks for having fun with all the euphemisms for subbing tonight. That was a lot of fun.
Yes. Thank you very much, everybody.
I'll make sure to bark up your tree someday.
Yeah, man. So I want to personally thank everybody for being here. Much appreciated. And I'll catch you all again on Wednesday, if not Thursday, if not next Sunday. Always at 10 p.m. UK time, if not, 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We've just hit the 3-hour mark, and that's all good. And I hope you've had a great time with us. I really do. That's all cool. So I'll catch you all again real soon, okay? I'll catch you soon. Thank you, guys.
Take care.